Chapter 2275. Kid, why are you here? You're still alive? The old man could not help but jump when he saw Lin Feng. This old immortal was none other than Grandpa Martin, the old swindler that Lin Feng had met in the forbidden grounds of Tianhuang. You're not dead yet, so how can I die? Lin Feng said indifferently. Grandpa Martin rolled his eyes and said, Grandpa Martin has a long life ahead of him. Lin Feng said, You're going to swagger around like this? Didn't someone capture you and make you into a mink coat? Grandpa Martin put his hands behind his back and said calmly, Grandpa Martin is an old immortal. Who dares to offend an old immortal? Lin Feng could not help but roll his eyes. Old immortal? He was more like a swindler. Grandpa Martin glanced at Lin Feng and said, Your glabella is dark. I'm afraid a bloody calamity is about to befall you. Don't you have anything good to say? Lin Feng said unhappily. Grandpa Martin said meaningfully, Honest advice grates on the ear. Good medicine tastes bitter. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes and carefully sized up Grandpa Martin. Sometimes, Lin Feng even felt that Grandpa Martin, this old swindler, had some extraordinary abilities. Divination might not be reliable. However, Grandpa Martin had stayed in the forbidden area of Heaven Wasteland for such a long time. Without a bit of strength, it was impossible for him to stay in there for so long without dying. Of course, the most important thing was that Grandpa Martin knew a lot of secrets. Lin Feng said, Since you're an old immortal, why don't you do a divination for me? Grandpa Martin immediately grinned. He stretched out his paw and patted a sign beside the table, saying, We may be close, but business is business. If you want a divination, everything has a price. Of course, as an old friend, I can give you a 20% discount. Lin Feng said, I want to find someone. Grandpa Martin said, Find someone for 8 million, 20% discount, 6. For million. Lin Feng took out 6. For million origin crystals and handed them to Grandpa Martin. For other people, 6,400,000 was an incredible amount of wealth, but for Lin Feng, it was just a drop in the ocean. If he could really obtain information about Duguya, he would be willing to pay 4 million. Even if it was 64 million, it was still worth it. However, Lin Feng did not have confidence in Grandpa Martin, this old swindler, because he really could not see through Grandpa Martin. Previously, Lin Feng's impression of Grandpa Martin was that it liked to brag. Anyway, as long as he had the time, he would brag about how awesome he was. However, in reality, Lin Feng was able to send Grandpa Martin flying with a single palm strike. As for whether Grandpa Martin was outstanding in other aspects, Lin Feng was not sure. After all, he was not very familiar with Grandpa Martin. If you want to find out the whereabouts of someone, write their name on a piece of paper for me, Grandpa Martin said. Lin Feng wrote Duguya's name on a piece of paper and handed it to Grandpa Martin. Grandpa Martin crumpled the piece of paper with Duguya's name on it into a ball and threw it into a black jade tube. Then, it released a ball of flame. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The flame burned. The ball of paper turned into ashes in the blink of an eye. Urgent as the law commands, Grandpa Martin muttered mysteriously, Open the heaven's eye. His paw tapped on the jade tube. Then he opened his eyes wide and looked at the jade tube. Grandpa Martin seemed to be very serious. It was as if he really did have some powerful abilities. How is it? Lin Feng asked. Grandpa Martin grinned and said, I've already done my calculations. You can rest assured that the Duguya you're looking for is fine. He won't die. Lin Feng could not help but roll his eyes and say, I'm asking you where he is. Can you not give me an irrelevant answer? Grandpa Martin smiled embarrassedly and said, He is in the land of the 9 prefectures. Lin Feng rubbed his forehead. He already knew that Grandpa Martin was unreliable. Was this really a divination? Lin Feng curled his lips and said, Fine, take that 6,400,000 gold coins as my treat. Grandpa Martin grinned and said, Kid, you're quite generous. Now that we're done with the divination, shouldn't we talk about the temple? Back then, Grandpa Martin had taught Lin Feng how to refine the 5-dragon wheel, and Lin Feng had promised to build a few temples for Grandpa Martin to worship him. Who knew that Grandpa Martin, a swindler, would see the divine servants appear? Afraid of getting Lin Feng into trouble, He did not warn Lin Feng and quietly slipped away. After Grandpa Martin slipped away, Lin Feng was blocked by the divine servants. Thus, Lin Feng had always thought that Grandpa Martin was a swindler. Grandpa Martin was just like his cheap master. However, since Lin Feng had promised Grandpa Martin to help him build a temple, he would not go back on his word. He said, "Once I return to the Dragon Gate, I'll help you with this matter." Grandpa Martin immediately became happy and said with a smile, "Kid, just based on the fact that you keep your word, Grandpa Martin thinks highly of you. You will definitely have a bright future." "Haha, thank you for your praise. I still have things to do, so let's part ways here," Lin Feng said. "Brat, you have water in your 5 elements. Too much water is a disaster. That's why there's a bloody disaster. If you listen to me, I advise you to leave the Netherworld Sea as soon as possible. Otherwise, you'll be in big trouble." Grandpa Martin said, "Are you telling the truth? You're not tricking me?" Lin Feng looked at Grandpa Martin seriously. "Look at how scared you are. Grandpa Martin was just joking with you. Don't forget to build a temple for Grandpa Martin." Grandpa Martin grinned. Lin Feng couldn't be bothered with Grandpa Martin anymore. He left with Du Zhu and the heretic sovereign sage. TSK, this kid's money is really easy to earn. Grandpa Martin grinned. The next day, Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the heretic sovereign sage left the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom. They boarded the ancient starship Xianyuan and headed to Thunder Dragon Island. This was the Snake Empress headquarters. He wondered how the Snake Empress had been doing all these years. 5 days later, Lin Feng saw Thunder Dragon Island from afar. The surrounding 30 li of Thunder Dragon Island was covered in lightning. Thick bolts of lightning swam through the void. Even the Thunder Dragon Island was sealed by lightning. Many cultivators were patrolling around Thunder Dragon Island. Thunder Dragon Island's defenses were very tight. "Snake Empress, why aren't you coming out to see me?" Lin Feng sent out his divine will. The Snake Empress, who was in seclusion, suddenly opened her eyes. Its master's voice. The Snake Empress opened her eyes, revealing an extremely shocked expression. She quickly flew out of her seclusion room. "Greetings, Island Lord." Seeing the Snake Empress come out of seclusion, many cultivators on Thunder Dragon Island bowed to her. The Snake Empress didn't care about them and quickly flew out. "Island Lord, why are you in such a hurry? Where are you going?" Many people looked at each other in dismay. They followed the Snake Empress and flew out of the island. Chapter 2276. When the Snake Empress arrived outside the Thunder Dragon Island and saw a figure floating in the void in the distance, she immediately revealed a pleasantly surprised expression. She quickly flew towards Lin Feng. She hurriedly bowed to Lin Feng. "Master." When the other people on the Thunder Dragon Island heard how the Snake Empress addressed Lin Feng, they were all dumbfounded. The Snake Empress actually called that young cultivator her master? How was this possible? The famous Snake Empress was actually someone else's servant? This made everyone feel a sense of disbelief. "Get up," Lin Feng said. "Thank you, Master." The Snake Empress responded and got up. "It's been hard on you to manage the forces in the Netherworld Sea all these years," Lin Feng said. "It's Qin Er's fortune to be able to share Master's burden," the Snake Empress said. Qin Er was the Snake Empress's name, and not many people knew about it. As the Snake Empress's master, Lin Feng naturally knew about it. "All right, let's go back to the Thunder Dragon Island to take a look," Lin Feng said. "Master, please," the Snake Empress hurriedly said, and then accompanied Lin Feng as they flew towards the Thunder Dragon Island. "Yangzhong, gather everyone above the level of Hall Master to the main hall," the Snake Empress said to a middle-aged cultivator. "Yes." The middle-aged cultivator called Yangzhong responded. Lin Feng arrived at the main hall, accompanied by the Snake Empress. He sat on the main seat while the Snake Empress stood beside Lin Feng. Lin Feng said with a smile, "It seems like your harvest is not small. You actually broke through to the giant god realm," the Snake Empress said. "It's all thanks to the many natural treasures that Master left behind that I was able to break through. You can't break through to the giant god realm just by relying on natural treasures. The reason you can break through is because your comprehension is strong enough. This is the result of your own hard work," Lin Feng said. At this time, People entered the hall one after another. Everyone was slightly stunned when they saw Lin Feng. In particular, the island master, the Snake Empress, was now standing beside Lin Feng as if she was Lin Feng's maid. This caused everyone to feel shocked and moved. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. Lin Feng was such a young cultivator, so how could he make the Snake Empress act so servile? Now that everyone is here, let me introduce the young master beside me. The man beside me is also my master. He's the disciple of Lord Turtle of the Reincarnation Immortal Sect and the sect leader of the Dragon Gate. He holds an army of 10 million cultivators. The Snake Queen began to introduce Lin Feng. In recent years, Lin Feng's reputation had gradually risen. It wasn't difficult for the Snake Empress to find out about Lin Feng's whereabouts. When he heard that the young master in front of him was Lin Feng, who had recently been the talk of the town, everyone was quite surprised. However, many people frowned slightly and didn't take Lin Feng seriously. Apart from the fact that he was the disciple of Lord Turtle, who was worth paying special attention to. As for the other identities, they dismissed them with a smile. For example, they didn't take Lin Feng's identity as the sect leader of the Dragon Gate seriously. To many people, Lin Feng's position as the sect leader of the Dragon Gate was just a puppet supported by the Reincarnation Immortal Sect. As for why Lin Feng was the Snake Queen's master, many people guessed that it might be because Lord Turtle, who was behind Lin Feng, suppressed the Snake Queen and forced her to recognize Lin Feng as her master. If it was Lin Feng who suppressed the Snake Queen, no one believed that. After all, Lin Feng was too young and pitifully weak in front of the Snake Queen. Come and greet Lin Gongzi. The Snake Queen's expression darkened when she saw that no one had any reaction. Yang Zhong hurriedly bowed to Lin Feng and said, "Subordinate Yang Zhong greets Lin Gongzi." Lin Feng had some impression of this Yang Zhong. Previously, the Snake Queen had ordered this person to gather everyone. This person was very likely the Snake Queen's confidant. After Yang Zhong bowed to Lin Feng, then, more than 10 cultivators bowed to Lin Feng. However, there were still more than 20 people who stood still and didn't move. What is the meaning of this? The Snake Queen's expression turned ugly. A white-robed cultivator said, "Island Lord, we are here to seek refuge with you, not this brat." The cultivator who spoke looked to be in his 30s. He was called the Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord and was a cultivator of the Thousand-Eyed clan. Moreover, his cultivation level was even higher than the Snake Queen's. The Snake Queen was now at the first firmament of the Giant God Realm. The Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord was at the third firmament of the Giant God Realm. The Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord had sought refuge with the Snake Queen because he had always coveted her beauty. He wanted to subdue the Snake Queen. That was why he sought refuge with the Snake Queen. After joining the Lightning Dragon Island, the Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord had gathered many experts because of his powerful cultivation level. He had expressed his intentions to the Snake Queen several times, but he had been rejected by the Snake Queen. Now that Lin Feng had appeared, the Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord was not only unwilling to accept Lin Feng, but he also felt a strong sense of jealousy towards Lin Feng. Since Lin Feng was the Snake Queen's master, didn't that mean that the Snake Queen had already served him? Thinking of this, the Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord had the urge to tear Lin Feng apart. Fortunately, he was still trying his best to control himself. Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord, don't go overboard. The Snake Queen looked at the Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord with an ugly expression. At this moment, Lin Feng waved his hand, indicating for the Snake Queen to stop talking. Then, Lin Feng stood up. He looked at the Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord and said, "It seems that you are not convinced by me." The Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord looked at Lin Feng with contempt and said, "You should have some self-awareness." Lin Feng said indifferently, "It seems that you are very confident in your cultivation level. At the very least, suppressing you will be as easy as flipping my hand." The Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord looked at Lin Feng with contempt. "Who else is not convinced by me?" Lin Feng glanced coldly at the people below. The group of cultivators standing beside the Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord looked at each other. Although they did not say anything, they did not distance themselves from the Thousand-Eyed Evil Lord. Clearly, their actions had made their stance clear. Lin Feng said, "All right, since you are not convinced by me, I will give you a chance. I will take 7 steps. If you can stand still, you can continue to stay. Otherwise, You can leave the Lightning Dragon Island. Because you people lack something called loyalty. Humph. Who do you think you are? How dare you be so arrogant? The group of cultivators could not help but be angered by Lin Feng's contempt. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent as he took a step forward. He did not even release his qi. He only released his aura. Thump, 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 thump. The cultivators could not withstand Lin Feng's aura. They all knelt on the ground. When Lin Feng took 3 steps, only the thousand-eyed evil lord remained kneeling. Even though the thousand-eyed evil lord was at the 3rd layer of the giant god realm, his face was turning paler and paler. Kneel, Lin Feng shouted. He took 3 steps forward. Thump. The thousand-eyed evil lord could no longer withstand the powerful aura emitted from Lin Feng's body and knelt on the ground. Chapter 2277. How is this possible? How is this possible? This can't be real. It can't be real. The thousand-eyed evil lord roared hysterically. He couldn't accept what was happening before him. He was a giant god realm 3rd heaven cultivator. With such a cultivation, he could be considered an overlord even in the entire 9 prefectures. But now, in front of Lin Feng, he couldn't even withstand the aura emitted by Lin Feng. How could the thousand-eyed evil lord accept this? To the thousand-eyed evil lord, this was a deep blow that made him feel endless humiliation. He's too strong. Everyone else was dumbfounded. Even the Snake Queen looked extremely shocked at this moment. She knew that Lin Feng had extraordinary means, especially after so many years. She knew that his cultivation must have improved by leaps and bounds. Even so, in the Snake Queen's opinion, it was already not easy for Lin Feng to contend with the thousand-eyed evil lord. How could he suppress the thousand-eyed evil lord with just the aura emitted from his body? This was too unbelievable. It was shocking and moving. Many people couldn't believe what they were seeing, including the Snake Queen. They felt like they were in a dream. As a subordinate, the most important quality is loyalty. But all of you lack loyalty. Lightning Dragon Island won't keep people like you. Get lost. Lin Feng waved his right hand. Bang, bang, bang. More than 20 people were sent flying by him. These people were obviously close to the thousand-eyed evil lord, and they were the upper echelons of Lightning Dragon Island. If they joined forces, wouldn't they be able to make the Snake Queen a mere figurehead? Lin Feng guessed that the Snake Queen wouldn't be able to fully control Lightning Dragon Island. Humph, this place won't keep me, but there will be a place for me. Let's go. The thousand-eyed evil lord looked coldly at Lin Feng, then led his group away. Young Master's strength is unparalleled, and he is wise and mighty. Yang Zhong and the others quickly knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Lin Feng. Previously, they had bowed to Lin Feng because of the Snake Queen, but now they were completely convinced of Lin Feng's strength. Lin Feng's display of strength had deeply shocked them. Said Lin Feng, "Everybody, stand up." "Thank you, young master." Yang Zhong and the others stood up. Lin Feng asked, "What's the situation like on Lightning Dragon Island now?" Snake Empress said, "Currently, Lightning Dragon Island has a total of 530,000 cultivators. These cultivators are basically all in the true God realm, the elites of the elites. A small portion of them are in the heavenly God realm. The only giant God realm cultivators are me and the thousand-eyed evil lord. Now that the thousand-eyed evil lord has been chased away by Master, there is only me, the giant God realm cultivator, left." "That's right. You managed to recruit so many strong cultivators in such a short time," praised Lin Feng. The Snake Queen revealed a beautiful smile and said, "It is Qin Er's honor to be able to share Master's burden." That night, Lightning Dragon Island held a celebratory feast to welcome Lin Feng. News of what had happened during the day also spread among the Lightning Dragon Island's cultivators. Everyone knew that an extremely terrifying expert had come to Lightning Dragon Island. Even an expert as powerful as the thousand-eyed evil lord was as weak as an ant in front of him. Currently, the Lightning Dragon Island's cultivators were excitedly discussing this matter. They had joined Lightning Dragon Island because they wanted to fight for a good future. Naturally, they hoped that Lightning Dragon Island had a powerful backer. Leaning against a big tree was the best way to enjoy the shade. After the feast ended, Lin Feng went to the sealed area in the depths of the island. The seal had already been closed. This seal had been added by the celestial master path's ancestor, and it was connected to the forbidden god world. Back then, when he had opened the seal, the 5 Yazis and Songming Mountain's 5 devils had escaped. However, he did not know if there were any other living beings that had escaped from the forbidden god world. The next few days passed by in a carefree manner. During the day, Lin Feng would help strengthen the Lightning Dragon Island's restrictions. At night, he would be accompanied by a peerless beauty, the Snake Queen. Naturally, they would enjoy the beautiful moonlight. Rumble, rumble. On this day, waves of terrifying fluctuations surged from afar. Ancient warships were sailing towards Lightning Dragon Island. There were a total of 100 ancient warships. There were 10,000 cultivators on each ancient warship. The other party had a total of 1 million cultivators. Snake Queen, why aren't you coming out to see me? At this moment, a cold voice was transmitted to Lightning Dragon Island. Lin Feng hovered in midair and saw the huge fleet in the sea. He looked at the Snake Queen and asked, "Who are these people?" "They are from Devil Swarm Island. The cultivator leading them is called Young Master Wu Hin. He is the son of Devil Swarm Island's island master," the Snake Queen said. Devil Swarm Island? When did such a power appear in the Nether Sea? Lin Feng asked in astonishment. There were many powers in the Nether Sea, but most of them were small. Since Devil Swarm Island could mobilize so many warships and cultivator armies, it was obvious that they were a terrifying power. Such a power should not be so unknown. Lin Feng had stayed in the Nether Sea for a period of time, but he had never heard of Devil Swarm Island. The Devil's Islands is a force that has just prospered in recent years. This force has gathered a large number of experts in a short period of time. Moreover, these people are simply unscrupulous. They are incomparably ferocious. They even dared to rob the fleets of the Dark Sea Divine Nation and the Mermaid race. The Nether Sea Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk race once mobilized their armies to wipe out Devil Swarm Island. However, Devil Swarm Island was much stronger than they had imagined. Therefore, both the Nether Sea Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk race failed. Instead, Devil Swarm Island's reputation grew. Now, Devil Swarm Island has become a giant that can contend with the Nether Sea Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk race. Lin Feng said, "Who is backing Devil Swarm Island? If there is no one backing them, it won't be easy to establish such a huge power." "His honor is Devil Swarm Island's backer," said the Snake Queen. "It's him." Lin Feng frowned slightly. He had seen his honor before. He knew how terrifying his honor was, but Lin Feng did not expect his honor to be Devil Swarm Island's backer. "Why did young Master Wu Hin come to Lightning Dragon Island?" Lin Feng asked. "He wants to subdue Lightning Dragon Island," said the Snake Queen. Lin Feng nodded. "Snake Queen, this young master's patience is limited. If you don't know what's good for you, this young master will have no choice but to attack Lightning Dragon Island." At this moment, young Master Wu Hin's voice sounded again. There was a strong sense of threat in his voice. "Let's go meet this person," said Lin Feng as he took the lead and flew out. The Snake Queen, Du Zhu, and the heretic Reverend Saint followed closely behind and flew out of the island. Chapter 2278. Lin Feng and the others arrived outside the Thunder Dragon Island. From a distance, Lin Feng saw young Master Wu Hin. This person looked to be in his 30s. He was rather handsome, but his complexion was somewhat pale. His entire person gave off a cold and unkind feeling. Young Master Wu Hin's eyes were fixed on the Snake Queen. That pair of cold eyes revealed an incomparably fiery gaze. "Snake Queen, I haven't seen you for a while, but you've become even more charming. This young island master has always known how to take care of women. If it wasn't for you, this young island master would have already attacked the Thunder Dragon Island. So, you'd better be tactful and obediently become this young island master's 99th concubine. Moreover, you should also obediently offer the several 100,000 cultivator army of the Thunder Dragon Island to this young island master. This way, this young island master will dote on you even more. If you don't know what's good for you, this young island master can give an order to capture the Thunder Dragon Island." The cultivator army of the Thunder Dragon Island will eventually be taken over by this young island master. You don't even have the qualifications to be this young island master's concubine. You'll become the lowest concubine in the world. Young Master Wu Hin said sinisterly. You're going too far. The Snake Queen's face turned ashen. If an ordinary person dared to speak to her like this, she would have already taken action. However, the power behind this young Master Wu Hin was too great. She didn't dare to offend him. If a fight really broke out, the Thunder Dragon Island wouldn't be a match for the Devil Pack Islands. It's early in the morning to hear a male dog barking in heat. What a bummer. Scram back to where you came from. Otherwise, we can only close the door and beat the dog. Lin Feng sneered. This young Master Wu Hin dared to covet his woman. He was simply courting death. Originally, young Master Wu Hin didn't notice Lin Feng. It wasn't until Lin Feng spoke that he looked at Lin Feng. It was a pair of cold eyes that made one's heart turn cold. They were filled with dense killing intent. Kid, who do you think you are? How dare you humiliate this young island master? I think you don't want to live anymore. Young Master Wu Hin's expression was indifferent, revealing a biting cold killing intent. Now that he was the young master of the myriad Devil Islands, young Master Wu Hin could be said to be complacent and aloof. Only he could humiliate others. Who dared to humiliate him? That would be courting death. Lin Feng revealed a mocking expression. Even a lowly character like you dares to be so presumptuous in front of me. Slap yourself 10 times and I'll spare your life. Otherwise, I'll make sure you die today. Courting death. Dense killing intent burst out from young Master Wu Hin's eyes. He stepped out of the ancient ship. Then, he looked at Lin Feng coldly and said, Little boy, don't be stupid. Get out here. Within 3 moves, this young master will take your dog life. Young Island Master, let us do it. Your body is precious. There's no need to be angry with such lowly people. Immediately, many experts said. These experts from the Devil Swarm Island were clearly worried that young Master Wu Hin would have an accident. If such a thing really happened, they would also be punished when they returned to the Islands of Devils. They were very clear about the punishment of the Devil Swarm Island. It was simply a fate worse than death. When young Master Wu Hin heard these people's dissuasion, his face turned incomparably gloomy. Do you think I'm not a match for that brat? Young Master Wu Hin said with a gloomy expression. Young Master Wu Hin had cultivated for 37,500 years. His talent was astonishing. Therefore, he was currently at the 5th heavenly layer of the giant god realm. Although they could not sense Lin Feng's cultivation, they could sense Lin Feng's life aura. Lin Feng's life aura was simply too young. Clearly, he had not cultivated for many years. One could conceal one's cultivation through some special means, preventing others from probing. However, one's life aura could not be concealed. Such a young cultivator, presumably, he did not have much cultivation. Thinking of this, the experts from the Devil Swarm Island felt somewhat relieved. They did not continue to dissuade young Master Wu Hin. Brat, why aren't you coming out and fighting with me? Are you afraid? If you are, then kneel on the ground and kowtow to me for mercy. Young Master Wu Hin sneered as he looked at Lin Feng. Lin Feng pursed his lips and said, I disdain to make a move. Do you think a trash like you is worthy of me making a move? You're simply dirtying my hands. This brat is too arrogant. The cultivators from the Devil Swarm Island could not help but mutter. They had never seen someone as arrogant as Lin Feng. However, since Lin Feng did not accept the challenge, everyone felt that Lin Feng might just be shooting his mouth off. His mouth was powerful, but in reality, he did not have much ability. The cultivators from the Lightning Dragon Island were also muttering. Everyone had already guessed that Lin Feng was that mysterious expert. However, Lin Feng's arrogance had clearly exceeded everyone's expectations. Moreover, Lin Feng was still so young. Many people could not help but mutter. Could the rumors about that mysterious expert be false? Brat, if you don't dare to accept the challenge, then just say it. Why put on an act? Young Master Wu Hin sneered. It's not that I don't dare to accept the challenge, but that I disdain it. If I were to make a move, I would only need one move to kill you. Lin Feng raised a finger as he spoke. Many people had bitter smiles on their faces. Young Master Wuhin was a fifth celestial stage giant god. Yet, this brat actually said that he would only need one move to kill young Master Wuhin. This bragging was a little too much. Please, can you stop bragging? Many people wailed inwardly. Young Master Wuhin was so angry that he laughed and said, "Fine, I want to see how you're going to kill me in one move." Lin Feng said, "I really disdain to make a move. Why didn't you listen to me? However, since you're so determined to throw away your life, I can only fulfill your wish." After saying that, Lin Feng walked toward young Master Wuhin. This brat is so good at bragging. If he claims to be second in the world, no one would dare to claim to be first. Now, he's probably going to reveal his true colors. Do you guys think that this brat will be killed by the young master in one move? That's very possible. The cultivators of the Devil Islands discussed fervently, is that young master really capable, or is he just bragging? Isn't he a little too young? I feel like he's just bragging. I also feel like he's just bragging. Young Master Wuhin is a fifth celestial stage giant god. If that young master is just bragging, won't he be killed by young Master Wuhin in one move? The cultivators of the Lightning Dragon Islands discussed fervently. Everyone looked at Lin Feng and young Master Wuhin. Everyone was looking forward to this battle. Boom! Young Master Wuhin's body emitted a terrifying aura. When the aura spread out, many cultivators' faces turned as pale as paper. Isn't this young Master Wuhin too strong? His cultivation is very likely beyond the fifth celestial stage. Many people exclaimed. Chapter 2279. Young Master Wu Hin's aura was so terrifying that it was suffocating. Before he even made a move, he had already shocked the hearts of the surrounding cultivators, giving them a feeling that they could not resist. Young Master Wu Hin's black hair fluttered in the wind, making him look like a demon or a god. On his face, there was a look of superiority. My cultivation has already broken through, and I'm only one step away from the 7th layer of the giant god realm. I'm dozens of times stronger than when I was at the 5th layer. Young Master Wu Hin said indifferently. What? He's that powerful? Everyone exclaimed. They did not expect young Master Wu Hin to be so powerful. Young Master is too strong. That brat is dead for sure. That's right. That brat will die miserably. The cultivators of the Devil Islands cried out excitedly that young Master is done for this time. Yeah, young Master Wu Hin's cultivation is too strong. It's simply impossible to resist him. The cultivators of the Thunder Dragon Island had solemn expressions. Duzu curled his lips and said, not to mention that he hasn't reached the 7th layer of the giant god realm. Even if he did, so what? In front of young Master, he's still an ant. Many people rolled their eyes. Their master knew how to brag. Even their master's guard knew how to brag. Limitless thunder fire art. At this time, young Master Wu Hin made his move. Dense thunderfire energy appeared in his right hand. In his left hand, flame energy appeared. The thunderfire energy and flame energy fused together. They formed a powerful thunderfire energy. The power of lightning and fire fused together, turning into a distorted ball of energy. The thunderfire energy fused together. Waves of destructive energy rippled out from his body. This is a top-rate emperor art. Supposedly, it was created by an imperial monarch realm expert called the Heavenly Emperor of Lightning and Fire. It's simply invincible and invincible. Young Master used this top-notch emperor technique as soon as he arrived. It seems like he wants to kill that brat instantly. That must be his plan. With such a terrifying emperor technique, that brat will definitely die even if he has 9 lives. The cultivators of the Devil Islands discussed in low voices. The way they looked at Lin Feng, it was no different from looking at a dead person. In their opinion, Lin Feng was dead for sure. On the other hand, the cultivators from Thunder Dragon Island wore solemn expressions. After Lin Feng was killed, the cultivator army of the myriad Devil Islands and the cultivator army of the Thunder Dragon Islands were bound to engage in a bloody battle. If Lin Feng was instantly killed, the momentum of the Hell Thunder Dragon Island would be greatly affected. Therefore, the cultivator army of the Thunder Dragon Island was in an extremely disadvantageous situation. Die, brat. Young Master Wu Hin grinned maliciously as he unleashed a peerless attack at Lin Feng. At this moment, Lin Feng was still motionless. Don't tell me he's scared, silly? The cultivators of the Devil Islands looked at Lin Feng with sneers. As for young Master Wu Hin, an arrogant expression appeared at the corner of his mouth. In his opinion, Lin Feng would undoubtedly die today. No one could save Lin Feng's life. Just as the terrifying attack was about to reach Lin Feng's body, at this moment, everyone saw. Lin Feng finally moved. His movements were very slow, so slow that everyone could clearly see Lin Feng's every move. However, that seemingly slow movement was as fast as lightning when it was condensed into an attack. This was a very strange feeling. Clearly, it was a very slow movement, but at the same time, it gave people a feeling of being struck by lightning. Lin Feng raised his right hand and gently slashed in the air. Buzz. A blade light condensed. That blade light cut through the sky. It directly slashed at young Master Wu Hin. PFFF. The divine ability condensed by young Master Wu Hin was directly torn apart. Impossible. Young Master Wu Hin's originally complacent expression instantly turned into horror as he shouted in disbelief. Feeling the terror of that blade light, young Master Wu Hin did not dare to take it head-on. He frantically retreated, wanting to avoid this terrifying attack. However, he was horrified to discover that no matter how he dodged, he could not avoid this attack. Quickly, save me! Young Master Wu Hin roared. Quickly, save the young master. Immediately, more than a dozen peak experts rushed toward young Master Wu Hin, wanting to save him. But it was already too late. PFFF. The blade light pierced through young Master Wu Hin's body. Young Master Wu Hin was directly split into two. This. Everyone had an incomparably shocked expression. Young Master Wu Hin had such a powerful cultivation, but he was actually killed in a single move. Just what level was that young master at? Wasn't this too terrifying? The young master is dead. Kill him. Otherwise, we won't be able to answer to the master. A seventh-layer giant god expert bellowed. They knew very well how terrifying the island master was. Young Master Wu Hin was the only son of the master. Now, he had died miserably. These people had an unshirkable responsibility, and when the time came, they would definitely be severely punished. But if they could kill Lin Feng, they would be able to change their situation. Kill. A deep roar was heard. More than 20 experts charged toward Lin Feng. These people were all the upper echelons of the Devil Isle. They were the peak experts of the Devil Isle. Each of them was a giant god expert. Even in a peak force like the Devil Isle, there were only slightly more than 30 of such experts. But now, young Master Wu Hin had brought more than 20 people with him. From this, one could see how much the master of the Devil Isle loved his son. He was afraid that something would happen to young Master Wu Hin, which was why he had sent so many experts to protect him. But in the end, young Master Wu Hin had died in Lin Feng's hands. Attack! The Snake Empress shouted, wanting to lead the cultivator army of the Lightning Dragon Isle to reinforce Lin Feng. No matter how strong Lin Feng was, a single person could not contend against more than 20 giant gods, right? At this time, Duzu curled his lips and said, "They're just a bunch of cats and dogs." For the young master, dealing with them is as easy as crushing a group of ants. Everyone, just watch the show. A bunch of cats and dogs? Crushing them is as easy as crushing a group of ants? Everyone looked at each other in dismay. That young master, was he really that terrifying? Then, these people saw a scene that they would never forget for the rest of their lives. They saw him being besieged by more than 20 giant gods. The handsome young master with shoulder-length black hair casually stepped out. He used his palm as a saber. He shuttled through the crowd. Saber energy vibrated out one after another. Every blade aura that flew out could instantly kill a giant god powerhouse. In a few breaths of time, more than 20 giant god realm powerhouses were all slain. Between heaven and earth, not a sound could be heard. One after another, eyes turned pale with shock as they looked at the handsome young man standing proudly in the void. It was as if stormy waves had been set off in everyone's hearts. Chapter 2280. The combat strength Lin Feng displayed was simply too terrifying. It deeply shocked everyone, causing their expressions to change. Run. At this moment, the cultivators on the Devil Island side finally regained their senses. No one knew who it was, but someone shouted. One after another, the ancient warships quickly changed their direction and fled into the distance. Lin Feng was too terrifying. With so many giant God Realm experts killed, the Devil Island side was like a group of dragons without a leader. They had turned into a pile of loose sand and were no longer a threat. Therefore, the cultivators on the Devil Island side fled in a sorry state. Kill! Their roars shook the sky. Naturally, the cultivators on the Lightning Dragon Island would not let the cultivators on the Devil Islands off so easily. At this moment, the cultivators on the Lightning Dragon Island were full of vigor. At the same time, Lin Feng directly activated the grand formation he had set up previously. During the past few days, Lin Feng had strengthened the grand formation on the Lightning Dragon Island. The sea region within a radius of 30 li was enveloped by the grand formation. Powerful ripples shook the void. The formation runes intertwined and sealed the world. The surrounding heaven and earth were completely sealed off. The ancient ships of war were all locked in the formation. We are trapped by the grand formation. Break out with all your might. From the ancient ships of war, the panicked voices of countless cultivators from Fiend Islands could be heard. Over 100 ancient warships shot out a dense number of spirit stone cannons. They attacked the grand formation that sealed the surrounding sea region. However, ordinary spirit stone cannons were unable to break the grand formation set up by Lin Feng. It's over. The grand formation can't be broken. We're dead meat. I don't want to die. The cultivators on the Devil Island side were filled with despair. In fact, the number of cultivators on the Devil Island side was close to twice the number of cultivators on the Lightning Dragon Island. However, when two armies clashed, it was never said that one could win with numbers. When two armies clashed, momentum was the most important thing. If one's momentum was strong and worked together, they would be invincible. The morale of the army was slack. Each of them fought for themselves and were utterly defeated. Clearly, the cultivators on the Lightning Dragon Island had a strong momentum and were working together. On the other hand, the cultivators on the Devil Island side were utterly defeated. Before the battle even started, the cultivators on the Devil Island side had already lost. Just as the armies were about to clash, a deep roar resounded through the heavens and earth. Devil Island's cultivators, on account of the heavens' kindness, I can spare your lives. However, you must swear an oath to pledge your loyalty to me. When Lin Feng's voice, the cultivators on the Devil Island side. The cultivators on the Devil Island side of the Devil Island side was looking at each other. Soon, someone said loudly, Murong Wuhan is dead. If we go back, we probably won't have a good ending. Instead of going back and being punished, it's better to rely on this young master. We are willing to submit to young master. The cultivators on the Devil Islands side knelt on the ground and swore their loyalty to Lin Feng. However, there was also a part of the cultivators who rebuked these people's actions. They would rather die in battle than submit to Lin Feng. Lin Feng, on the other hand, allowed this part of the cultivators to succeed. With a single order, this part of the cultivators were all killed. In the end, Lin Feng subdued 950,000 cultivators. The cultivators on the Lightning Dragon Island had reached about 1.5 million. Devil Islands. Inside the Primordial Spirit Lamp Hall, the Primordial Spirit Lamps of the Young Master, Murong Wuhan, and more than 20 giant God Realm upper echelons shattered. A few servants who were cleaning saw this scene and were so frightened that they fell to the ground. Quickly report this to the elder. The servants scrambled out of the room. Not long after, the elder of the Primordial Spirit Lamp Hall arrived. When he saw the shattered Primordial Spirit Lamps, his expression turned ugly. He personally went to see the island master, Murong Baiming. Outside the hall where Murong Baiming was cultivating, the elder of the Primordial Spirit Lamp Hall was stopped. I have an important matter to discuss with the island master. The elder of the Primordial Spirit Lamp Hall said in a deep voice, Please wait for a moment. We will go in and report. The guard commander said. The guard commander also knew the elder of the primordial spirit lamp hall. He knew that something big must have happened for the elder of the primordial spirit lamp hall to come in such a hurry. Therefore, he did not dare to delay. At this time, Morong Biming's voice came from inside. There is no need to report this matter. Just come in. Elder, please, the guard commander said. The elder of the primordial spirit lamp hall cupped his fists and pushed the door open. He entered the hall. The huge hall was empty. A middle-aged man was sitting cross-legged in the middle of the hall. That middle-aged man was like an ancient devil that had not moved since ancient times. Although he did not deliberately emit a powerful aura fluctuation, however, it still gave people a feeling of fear and trepidation. The man who looked like an ancient devil was the island master of the Devil's Island, Morong Biming. After seeing Morong Biming, the elder of the primordial spirit lamp hall knelt on the ground and kowtowed. Island master, something has happened to the young island master. Morong Biming, who had his eyes closed, instantly opened his eyes when he heard that something had happened to Morong Wuhan. His eyes revealed two cold rays of light. What happened? Morong Biming asked in a deep voice. The primordial spirit lamps of the young island master and more than 20 giant god experts have all shattered. The elder of the primordial spirit lamp hall said. What? Morong Biming's eyes could not help but burst out with endless killing intent. The void in front of him was shattered by the killing intent bursting out from Morong Biming's eyes. Lightning Dragon Island. The Snake Empress said, Master, young Master Wuhan and so many giant god experts have been killed. In addition, the Devil's Island has lost millions of cultivators. The Devil's Island will definitely not let this matter rest. This servant guesses that the island master of the Devil's Island, Morong Biming, will personally lead the cultivator army here. What is Morong Biming's cultivation? Lin Feng asked. It is said that he is a half-step emperor expert. The Snake Empress said. Half-step emperor? Lin Feng was very surprised. Morong Biming was already so terrifying. How terrifying was the strength of the supremacy behind Morong Biming? Just thinking about it made people shudder with fear. If we want to kill Morong Biming, we need to make some preparations in advance. Lin Feng could not help but narrow his eyes. Naturally, what happened on the Lightning Dragon Island could not be kept a secret. Soon, as if it had grown wings, it spread throughout the netherworld sea. The cultivators in the various cultivators' gathering places were discussing this matter. Many people were waiting for the Devil's Island to respond. After all, ever since the Devil's Island was established, it had never suffered any losses. It had never suffered a loss. Even in the battle against the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom and the Mermaid Clan, the Devil's Island had always won. This time, the Devil's Island had suffered such a big loss. It was impossible for them to swallow this insult. Chapter 2281. Demon's Island. The army gathered. Morong Biming planned to personally lead the army to attack Thunder Dragon Island. He vowed to destroy Thunder Dragon Island, then capture Lin Feng and cut him into pieces to avenge Morong Wuhan. At this moment, a cloud of black fog flew over from afar. A man stood vaguely in the black fog. Your Honor. Seeing the man, Morong Biming hurriedly knelt on the ground and saluted him. Greetings, Your Honor. The 5 million cultivator army also saluted his honor. A mere Thunder Dragon Island can be destroyed with a flick of a finger. Is it worth it to make such a big fuss for such a small force? His honor looked at Morong Biming. His honor looked directly at someone as powerful as Morong Biming. Even Morong Biming had a feeling of trepidation. His honor was his benefactor in the Forbidden God realm. Later, Morong Biming became his honor's follower. A few years ago, Morong Biming took his son and followed his honor to escape from the Forbidden God realm. Morong Biming only had respect for his master. He didn't know his honor's cultivation level or origin. The only thing he knew was that his honor was too powerful. In the Forbidden God realm's ninth heaven, his honor was also an existence that no one dared to provoke. Now that he had returned to Jiuzhou, he was invincible. Not only that, no one was able to shake his honor's sharpness. In Morong Biming's opinion, Lord Tortoise, the Red World Fairy, and other legendary existences, In front of his honor, they were as weak as ants. My honor, my son is dead, Murong Biming said in a sorrowful voice. It doesn't matter. When I enter the netherworld, I have a way to resurrect your son. His honor said, Thank you, your honor. Thank you, your honor. Murong Biming was overjoyed and quickly kowtowed to his honor. Murong Biming didn't doubt his honor's words at all. In Murong Biming's heart, his honor was an omnipotent existence. Conquering the 9 prefectures, let's start with conquering the Netherworld Sea. The Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk race have dealt with the Demon's Island several times. Now, it's time to destroy these 2 forces. As for the Lightning Dragon Island, after destroying the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk race, you can deal with the Lightning Dragon Island however you want, said his honor. Yes, your honor. This subordinate will remember your honor's teachings, Murong Biming said hurriedly. Swish. With a wave of his sleeve, his honor swept away the 5 million cultivator army. Such a huge army of cultivators flew above the sea in a grandiose manner. Wherever the cultivator army passed, the islands were plundered clean. Countless people were killed by the cultivator army. This news quickly spread throughout the Netherworld Sea. His Holiness has taken action personally. It seems that he wants to unify the Netherworld Sea. I wonder if the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk can stop you, my lord? Countless people were discussing this matter. Many people chose to side with the Island of Demons. As for the sea regions ruled by the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk, there were constantly cultivators fleeing. It was obvious that they did not want to participate in this war. Lin Feng also heard this news. Du Zhu said, This his honor's ambition is not small. Lin Feng nodded and said, This person is too terrifying. Now that he has taken action personally, I wonder if the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk can stop him? It would be best if they can defeat him. When that happens, the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk will definitely chase after him and the Island of Demons. It will save us a lot of trouble. Du Zhu said, It won't be that easy to deal with his honor. However, the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk definitely have a terrifying foundation. It's hard to say how this battle will turn out. Evil Dominator Saint said, We should still prepare for both sides. Lin Feng nodded and said, Yes, we do need to prepare for both sides. We also need to pay attention to the situation over there at all times. Facing his honor's aggressiveness, the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk joined forces to fight his honor. The cultivator armies of both sides fought fiercely, and the sea was dyed blood red. The Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk both brought out their own foundation. The Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom had an ancient expert who sealed himself in a stone. His cultivation could be said to be heaven-defying. As for the Merfolk, they took out a broken ancient killing weapon. The ancient killing weapon was one of the 9 great ancient weapons. It was a terrifying weapon that surpassed Emperor weapons. Once it was activated, its power was boundless. Although the ancient killing weapon in the Merfolk's hands was broken, it was still unimaginably terrifying. Thus, the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk were full of confidence in this battle. However, no one expected that. Everyone had underestimated his honor's strength. His honor was too strong. He was so strong that even the ancient expert who sealed himself in the stone was not his match. His honor broke the other party's stone seal and heavily injured the ancient expert from the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom. And the most shocking thing was that his honor actually had an ancient demonic weapon. It was one of the 9 great ancient weapons. The ancient demonic weapon in his honor's hands was actually intact. That was too terrifying. The power of an intact ancient demonic weapon was incomparable to the broken ancient killing weapon of the Merfolk. In this battle, the Merfolk cultivators died one after another, and the ancient killing weapon was taken by his honor. Apart from the ancient expert who sealed himself in the stone and escaped with serious injuries, the allied forces of the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk died. The rest died in battle. The Dark Ocean had become a sea of blood, and there were corpses everywhere. Blood rained down like rain. After his honor attacked once, he did not attack again. It was as if he could not be bothered to continue attacking. Morong Biming led the army to attack the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk Empire that had just been established for a few years. Countless people were killed. Only a few people from the Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk escaped. The others had also died in this calamity. These were two colossal forces. They were destroyed in the blink of an eye. This matter quickly spread throughout the entire 9 regions. The 10 immortal sects, the upper echelons of many ancient sects, ancient sacred lands, and ancient families were also paying attention to this matter. The Dark Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk were both top powers, but they were destroyed so easily. Who exactly is that His Honor? Wasn't he too terrifying? Even the strongest person in the 9 states, the Red World Fairy, was probably not His Honor's match. His Honor was very mysterious. He disappeared again, and the matters of the Dark Ocean were left to Morong Biming to handle. Many major powers sent people to the Dark Ocean to gather information because they felt that something was amiss. Perhaps His Honor's ambition was not as simple as unifying the Dark Ocean. The signs of the 5 decay of heaven. Grandpa Martin walked on the sea. He frowned slightly. This is not a place to stay for long. I better escape, Grandpa Martin muttered and was about to leave quickly. At this moment, a man walked over from afar. That man was shrouded in black fog. Honor, His Honor. Grandpa Martin's expression changed when he saw that man. He turned and fled. Chapter 2282. Grandpa Martin. Why are you in such a hurry? His Honor chased after Grandpa Martin step by step. His Honor's speed was simply too fast. Grandpa Martin ran frantically, but was unable to shake His Honor off. Being targeted by His Honor, Grandpa Martin felt like crying. Grandpa Martin shouted, His Honor, there is no enmity between us. Please don't chase after me. There aren't many people from that era who are still alive. You are one of them. When old friends meet, shouldn't we have a good chat? Yet, you left so decisively. This is simply too heartbreaking. His Honor said, Go to hell, old friend. Grandpa Martin, are you close to me? Grandpa Martin thought fiercely. However, he did not dare to say these words in front of His Honor. Grandpa Martin said, I have an urgent matter, so I left in a hurry. How about we meet another day? At that time, I will treat you to a mortal tea. His Honor said, What could be more important than meeting an old friend? Tell me. Let me hear it. Grandpa Martin felt bitter in his heart. What he said just now was just an excuse that he came up with. Grandpa Martin said, What I am going to do is extremely important, but it is not convenient for me to reveal it. Thus, I am unable to tell you about it. His Honor's expression became cold and indifferent. Grandpa Martin, it seems that you don't treat me as a friend. Since that is the case, there is no need for me to treat you as a friend. After saying that, His Honor increased his speed. Grandpa Martin saw that His Honor was chasing after him, and he was almost scared out of his wits. Grandpa Martin increased his speed to the limit, but he was still unable to shake His Honor off. Grandpa Martin was not good at fighting. What he was best at was divination and deduction, as well as all kinds of other arts. Very quickly, His Honor caught up to Grandpa Martin, then sent a palm towards Grandpa Martin. His Honor, can you not be impulsive? Impulsiveness is the devil. Grandpa Martin shouted. Bang! Along with the fierce attack, Grandpa Martin was sent flying by His Honor. A line of blood was left behind in the air. Grandpa Martin's body was sent flying, and his face was deathly pale. He stood in the air with difficulty, and looking at his appearance, he was on the verge of collapse. His Honor said with a smile, Grandpa Martin, so many years have passed. Why is your cultivation still so weak? What exactly have you been doing all these years? Even if a pig were to live to your age, its cultivation level would be much higher than yours, right? Grandpa Martin grinned and said, Grandpa Martin is not interested in cultivation. If Grandpa Martin were to cultivate properly, you would be the one vomiting blood from Grandpa Martin's palm today. Grandpa Martin coughed up blood as he spoke. It was obvious that his injuries were not light. His Honor smiled and said, Is that so? Your stubborn personality hasn't changed in the slightest after so many years. Let me ask you something. If you answer me honestly, I might let you live. Grandpa Martin said, Feel free to ask. As long as you don't kill me, I'll tell you everything. Those who suppressed me back then, where are they now? Asked His Honor. They went to the undying world long ago. By now, they have probably become big shots of the undying world, right? Grandpa Martin said. Undying world? Very good, very good. Wait until I get to the undying world. I'm going to cut them into 1,000 pieces. Dense killing intent appeared on His Honor's face. Can I leave now? Grandpa Martin asked. The corner of His Honor's mouth curled up into a cold smile and said, Grandpa Martin, when you perform fortune-telling for others, have you ever divined what your own fate would be like? Grandpa Martin said, This? I've divined for myself, but my divinations aren't very accurate. Is that so? That's truly a pity. If you had divined for yourself, you might have been able to avoid this calamity. His Honor laughed lightly and lightly waved his right hand. Swoosh! A dazzling sword aura swept out. Pooh! That sword aura directly pierced through Grandpa Martin's chest. Grandpa Martin looked at his chest that was pierced through by the sword aura. He stretched out his hand, wanting to cover the wound that was continuously bleeding. However, no matter how hard he tried, he was unable to stop the blood from flowing out. This sword of mine has destroyed all of your life force. You can go on your way with peace of mind. His Honor said indifferently. Grandpa Martin said, You didn't keep your word. You said that you would let me go. His Honor said indifferently, I only said that I would consider letting you go, but I didn't say that I would definitely let you go. Just now, I had thought it through, and that is, I have decided to take your life. How ironic. I, Grandpa Martin, had just divined that a brat would have a bloody calamity. That brat hasn't even gotten into trouble yet, but I, Grandpa Martin, have already died. Grandpa Martin cried out miserably as his body fell into the sea and was instantly swallowed by the rolling waves. Grandpa Martin, have a safe journey. His Honor's mouth curled up into a sinister smile, following which, he stepped into the distance and disappeared without a trace in the blink of an eye. After the fall of the Netherworld Sea's Divine Nation and the Merfolk Empire, the majority of the sea region had been occupied by the demonic islands. Now, only the last piece of land was left, and that was the Lightning Dragon Island. Originally, Lin Feng had planned to let the Snake Queen continue to take root in the Netherworld Sea's Divine Nation, but now, he had changed his mind. Previously, when the Divine Nation of the Netherworld Sea and the Merfolk Empire were still around, there were two great powers that were restraining His Honor and the demonic islands. But now, these two great powers had been destroyed. There was no one else that could restrain His Honor and the demonic islands. Continuing to stay here was truly not a wise move. Therefore, Lin Feng wanted to move the Cultivator army of the Lightning Dragon Island away. He had set up a space-time shift formation on the Lightning Dragon Island, which could directly shift a long distance to the northern ice field. But what Lin Feng didn't expect was that the space-time shift formation had just been set up. The Cultivator army of the demonic islands had already heavily surrounded the Lightning Dragon Island. 5 million Cultivator army arrived on the ancient warships. Now, the Lightning Dragon Island was completely surrounded. The defensive restriction of the Lightning Dragon Island was activated. Lin Feng didn't plan to fight. Prepare to move. When we arrive at the northern ice field, rest and reorganize. Observe the situation in the Netherworld Sea. If there are any changes in the Netherworld Sea's Divine Nation, the army will come back and fight for the territory. Lin Feng said. The changes he was talking about were the 10 great immortal sects, those ancient sacred grounds, ancient families, and other forces that might make a move against His Honor. After all, His Honor's threat was too great. Those top forces would most likely not let His Honor continue to grow. Otherwise, once His Honor became a great threat, at that time, it would be impossible to deal with His Honor. Lin Feng was also waiting for those top forces to make a move against His Honor. As long as His Honor was killed, the 1.5 million cultivator army of the Lightning Dragon Island would immediately come back. By then, the authority of the Netherworld Sea would be in Lin Feng's hands. Let's go. Follow me to kill Murong Baiming. Lin Feng looked at Du Zhu and the heretic sovereign saint. He had decided to kill Murong Baiming before leaving. It could be considered as a greeting gift to his honor. Chapter 2283. Lin Feng had set up an extremely powerful formation to deal with Morong Baiming. As for his honor, Lin Feng expected that this person would not casually make a move. His honor was too arrogant. Even when dealing with the two top forces, the Nether Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Mermaid Empire. After defeating the experts in the Nether Ocean Divine Kingdom and snatching the ancient killing weapon of the mermaid race, his honor did not make a move again. From this, it could be seen. His honor disdained to make a move on those forces. And Thunder Dragon Island paled in comparison to the Nether Ocean Divine Kingdom and the Mermaid Empire. Therefore, it was even more impossible for his honor to deal with Thunder Dragon Island. The person who dealt with Thunder Dragon Island must be Morong Baiming. Although Morong Baiming was powerful, it was not impossible to deal with him. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, the evil Dominator Saint, and the Quasi-Emperor Puppet. In addition to the formation set up by Lin Feng. Lin Feng had the 9 Demons painting, the Wolverine Mace, the 5 Dragon Wheel, and other top-grade treasures. With so many experts working together with the formation and so many top-grade treasures, how could he not kill Morong Baiming alone? Lin Feng had a high chance of killing Morong Baiming. Haha, I can't wait to make a move. Du Zhu could not help but laugh. Kill Morong Baiming and snatch his wealth. As the island master of Demon's Island, this guy must be filthy rich. Du Zhu's eyes were glowing with green light. Master, you must be careful, the Snake Queen reminded. Don't worry, you just need to preside over everyone's transfer here. Lin Feng said. Whoosh 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 then, Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Saint flew out. Lord Island Master, 3 people flew out from Thunder Dragon Island. Seeing Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Saint flying out of the Lightning Dragon Island, someone immediately went to report to Morong Baiming. Morong Baiming walked out of the cabin and saw Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the heretic Dominator Saint standing in the void. He sneered and said, "What? Is it just the 3 of you who came out to die?" Lin Feng smiled faintly and said, "Morong Baiming, it seems that you still don't know me. I was the one who killed Morong Wuhan." "What? Did you kill Wuhan?" After hearing Lin Feng's words, Morong Baiming's eyes suddenly burst out with killing intent. If looks could kill, Lin Feng would have been cut into 1,000 pieces by Morong Baiming's glare. "Come out, Morong Baiming. Let's fight. Life or death, victory or defeat." Lin Feng said indifferently, "Brat, since you want to die, this island master will fulfill your wish." Morong Baiming's eyes were filled with coldness. "Island master, you can't do that. This brat is cunning. We have to guard against him. Our army of 5 million cultivators has already surrounded the Lightning Dragon Island. Island Master only needs to give the order and everyone on the Lightning Dragon Island will be annihilated. That brat won't be an exception. There's no need for Island Master to act personally. That's right, Island Master. We only need to give the order and the army of 5 million cultivators will immediately attack the Lightning Dragon Island. That brat will only die then." Many higher-ups of the demonic island tried to dissuade Morong Baiming. Morong Baiming's face suddenly sank and said, "Wuhan was killed by this brat. How can I not avenge my son's death?" "The army will annihilate him to avenge young Island Master," said one of the higher-ups. Morong Baiming's face sank and said, "This Island Master will personally cut that brat into 1,000 pieces. Only then will I be able to vent the hatred in my heart." Morong Baiming then looked coldly at the higher-ups of the demonic island, who were trying to dissuade him from taking action. He said coldly, "This Island Master has been a half-step emperor for 720,000 years. Do you think that I'm not a match for that brat?" After feeling Morong Baiming's cold gaze, everyone felt a sudden chill in their hearts. They hurriedly said in unison, "Of course we don't dare to have such thoughts. We're just worried that the boy is playing some tricks on you, Island Master." "Humph, before absolute strength, any tricks are useless," Morong Baiming sneered. He then continued, "This Island Master will personally kill that brat. You all will attack the island with all your strength. Kill everyone on the Lightning Dragon Island. Leave no one alive." "Understood." The higher-ups of the demonic island quickly replied. Murong Biming stepped forward and walked towards Lin Feng. Brat, have you thought about how you're going to die? Murong Biming sneered as he looked at Lin Feng. TSK, since I can kill Murong Wuhan, I can also kill you. Soon, you will go to hell to meet Murong Wuhan. Lin Feng sneered. Murong Biming said indifferently. Brat, do you really think that Wuhan is dead? Let me tell you, his honor has promised this island master that he will revive Wuhan in the netherworld. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the demonic holiness saint looked at each other. This guy couldn't be telling the truth, right? The dead can be revived? If his honor has such an ability, wouldn't it be too terrifying? What is his honor's cultivation level? Murong Biming sneered and said, Wuhan will be revived soon. As for you, you will fall into the 18 layers of hell and never be reincarnated. Hong. A terrifying wave of energy was emitted from Murong Biming's body. The wave was so powerful that it was suffocating. So strong. This person is extremely powerful even among half-step emperors. Du Zhu's expression turned solemn. Lin Feng nodded. Murong Biming's strength was indeed too strong. However, this was also within Lin Feng's expectations. When he decided to deal with Murong Biming, Lin Feng had already anticipated all kinds of possible consequences. The current situation was also within Lin Feng's expectations. When Murong Biming rushed towards Lin Feng activated the space-time teleportation array outside the Lightning Dragon Island. The array enveloped Lin Feng, Du Zhu, the demonic holiness saint, and Murong Biming. Asterisk swish. Asterisk in the next moment, the four disappeared without a trace. Island Master has been teleported away. Should we go look for Island Master? Seeing Murong Biming being teleported away, one of the higher-ups of the Devil Isle frowned and said, The Island Master's strength is unfathomable. It won't be a problem for him to deal with those people. Moreover, the Island Master has already instructed us to attack the Lightning Dragon Island with all our strength. Let's attack the Lightning Dragon Island here, and try our best to take down the Lightning Dragon Island before the Island Master returns. Another higher-up said, All right, let's attack the Lightning Dragon Island. The rest of the higher-ups nodded. Asterisk woo woo woo. Asterisk soon, the bugle horn for the attack sounded. Numerous ancient warships shot out a dense number of spiritual stone cannons toward the restriction of the Lightning Dragon Island. Chapter 2284. Whoosh! With a flash of light, Lin Feng and the other three came to another sea area. This place was located 30 miles northwest of Thunder Dragon Island. As far as the eye could see, one could see numerous small islands densely distributed in the surroundings. Lin Feng set up a large formation here. This place looked ordinary, but in fact, it contained a mystery. The islands that were densely distributed like stars in the sky reflected the stardust in the sky, and they were able to attract the power of the stars. Lin Feng relied on this natural terrain to create the large formation here. He set up a total of 3 formations here. The first formation was called the Million Stars Slaughtering Gods Destroying Immortals formation, which was a top formation passed down from the Celestial Master Sect. The terrain of this place. It just so happened that it complemented Lin Feng's great deployment spell perfectly. In addition, Lin Feng also set up the Immortal Slaying formation. These 2 formations were the main formations, one yin and one yang, and yin and yang were combined. It was mysterious and unpredictable. In addition to these 2 main formations, Lin Feng also set up a dozen auxiliary formations. For example, some maze formations, illusion formations, killing formations, and so on. These formations were powerful enough, and Lin Feng had many powerful magic treasures. Moreover, Lin Feng and the others were also very powerful. This was why Lin Feng was confident that he could kill Murong Biming. Murong Biming looked around coldly. Although he didn't see anything mysterious, his instincts made him frown slightly. Brat, do you think that by moving me to this place and playing some tricks, you'll be able to deal with me? It's just wishful thinking. Now, I'm going to kill you. Murong Biming's voice was indifferent. He walked toward Lin Feng step by step, and a 9-colored energy ball appeared in his palm. That ball of energy was truly terrifying. It actually caused the surrounding space to distort. Moreover, it emitted a powerful wave of energy that could destroy the heavens and the earth. Murong Baiming began to condense his magical power to deal with Lin Feng. Lin Feng activated the large formation. Buzz. When the array was activated, white mist began to envelop the area. Murong Baiming's expression suddenly darkened. He was experienced and knowledgeable, so he knew that Lin Feng was setting up a big array to deal with him. Therefore, Murong Baiming hurriedly condensed an energy ball in his hand and blasted it towards Lin Feng. However, when the energy ball blasted towards Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil Dominator Saint, the three of them had already disappeared. Murong Baiming's attack missed and failed to cause any harm to Lin Feng, Du Zhu, or the evil Dominator Saint. Murong Baiming, you think too highly of yourself. Today is the day you die. Lin Feng said indifferently. Murong Baiming said coldly, Boy, do you think you can kill me by arranging a large array? That's simply a fool's dream. In the face of absolute strength, no matter what kind of conspiracy, it will collapse at the first blow. Lin Feng sneered and said, Murong Baiming, you think too highly of yourself. How dare you call the large array a conspiracy? Have you heard of the saying, don't enter the array? If you've heard of it, then you should know that you're trapped in the formation today. There's an 80% chance that your soul will die. Boom, boom, boom. As soon as Lin Feng's voice fell, the large array was completely activated. Streaks of divine light shot out from the islands that were as dense as the stars in the sky. Buzz. At the same time, the wind and clouds in the ninth heaven suddenly changed. The sky was originally clear. In the blink of an eye, night fell. In the endless darkness, stars appeared one after another. Those stars shone down beams of starlight. The islands in the sea and the stars in the starry sky reflected each other's brilliance. The streaks of starlight actually transformed into chains of order. Clatter. These chains of order were intertwined with the power of stars, and they made sounds of chains colliding with each other. The chains of order swept toward Murong Baiming. At the same time, the Immortal Execution Array and more than a dozen different arrays were activated. The Immortal Execution Array condensed billions of sword chi. They slashed toward Murong Baiming. The other killing arrays also condensed various powerful attacks, such as the Thousand Beasts Array condensing a dense herd of beasts. It was as if the evil flood dragon formation had formed an incomparably terrifying evil flood dragon. Wait. All kinds of large arrays were unimaginably powerful. Lin Feng also summoned the Pseudo-Emperor puppet at this time. After all, the Pseudo-Emperor puppet was just a puppet and not a real Pseudo-Emperor. Therefore, the cultivation of a Pseudo-Emperor puppet was lower than that of a real Pseudo-Emperor. However, the Pseudo-Emperor puppet refined by Lin Feng was a little different. Because this Pseudo-Emperor puppet was refined from the corpse of a demonic insect from another world, and this demonic insect was highly toxic. Therefore, the threat of the Pseudo-Emperor puppet containing highly toxic poison was no less than that of a real Pseudo-Emperor. Lin Feng didn't use the Pseudo-Emperor puppet before because he didn't want to expose his Pseudo-Emperor puppet. The Pseudo-Emperor puppet was one of his trump cards now. In order to kill Murong Baiming, Lin Feng used all his means and summoned the Pseudo-Emperor puppet. In addition to the Pseudo-Emperor puppet, Lin Feng also summoned the 9 demons diagram and the 5 dragons wheel. These 2 magic treasures suppressed the core of the Immortal Execution Array and the 1,000 Stars God Slaughtering Immortal Extinguishing Array, respectively. They increased the power of the 2 large arrays. Lin Feng held the Wolf Tooth Mace, Du Zhu held the Myriad Poisons Blade, and the evil Dominator Saint held the Death Scythe. Together with the Pseudo-Emperor puppet, they began to besiege Murong Baiming. No matter how powerful Murong Baiming was, he was only one person. Lin Feng's various attacks were endless. As time went by, Murong Baiming's consumption continued to increase. Murong Baiming also encountered some trouble. Under the various attacks, Murong Baiming gradually revealed his fatigue and flaws. Lin Feng seized one of Murong Baiming's flaws and directly smashed the wolf tooth mace toward Murong Baiming. Bang! A muffled sound of collision was heard. The wolf tooth mace hit Murong Baiming hard. It directly sent Murong Baiming flying. Wah! After suffering such a heavy blow, Morong Biming couldn't help spitting out a mouthful of blood. At the same time, the thousand stars god's slaughtering immortal extinguishing array continued to show its power, summoning meteorites from outer space and smashing toward Morong Biming. Break! Morong Biming waved his fist and swept it towards the dense meteorites. Countless meteorites from outer space were directly shattered. But at this moment, the pseudo-emperor puppet silently lurked behind Morong Biming and swept its sharp claws toward Morong Biming. Morong Biming's reaction was extremely fast. He quickly dodged the attack of the pseudo-emperor puppet, but Morong Biming couldn't avoid it. Puff! The pseudo-emperor puppet left a deep wound on Morong Biming's back, so deep that his bones could be seen. Chapter 2285. Morong Biming could not help but let out a shrill scream as his wound quickly festered. The poison contained in the half-step emperor puppet was extremely terrifying. Morong Biming was also made of flesh and blood. Since he was made of flesh and blood, it was natural for him to be poisoned. However, Morong Biming did not have a heaven and earth spirit beast like the white jade toad that could detoxify poison. Therefore, the poison of the half-step emperor puppet poured into Morong Biming's body in a very short time. Morong Biming felt his spiritual power become sluggish, and his body could not help but twitch. Bang! He slapped the quasi-emperor puppet with his palm and sent it flying. Ha 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 ha, Morong Biming. It seems that you have been poisoned deeply. Now you can't escape even if you have wings. Lin Feng could not help but laugh. Little bastard. It's not that easy to kill me. Today, I've been tricked by you. I'll tolerate you for the time being. When I recover from my injuries, I'll skin you alive. Morong Biming's resentful voice came out. Now he also knew that his situation was very bad, so he no longer had the intention to continue fighting with Lin Feng. He just wanted to escape as soon as possible. As long as there was life, there was hope. Morong Biming naturally understood this truth. Whoosh! Morong Biming quickly rushed out of the large formation. His body turned into a dazzling sword light. Whether it was the chains of order, the formation patterns intertwined by various large formations, or the attacks released, anything that touched the sword chi of Morong Biming was directly torn apart. Damn! This guy's ability is so terrifying. Duzu suddenly shouted. He is now holding a breath in his chest. As long as we can break this breath in his chest, Morong Biming's vitality will inevitably be greatly damaged. Evil Dominator Saint said. Swish. At this time, Lin Feng waved his right hand. The primitive magic cauldron flew out. The primitive magic cauldron was a treasure that was not inferior to the four ferocious cauldron. Lin Feng said, activate the primitive magic cauldron with me. Let's forcibly break this person's state. All right. Du Zhu and the evil dominator wholly nodded and followed Lin Feng into the cauldron. Buzz. Immediately after, the primordial magic cauldron was activated. The original demonic cauldron rose into the sky and quickly rushed toward the sword chi that Morong Biming had transformed into. Soon, it reached Morong Biming. Then, it fiercely collided with Morong Biming's sword chi. Clang! The two sides collided. It sounded like a huge bell being struck. It was deafening. Morong Biming's sword chi was invincible. However, the primordial magic cauldron was simply too sturdy. Although Morong Biming's sword chi had cut through the chains of order and destroyed all kinds of formation runes, it was still not enough. However, they failed to destroy the primordial magic cauldron. The defensive power of the primordial magic cauldron was simply too astonishing. After being blocked by the primordial magic cauldron, Morong Biming's sword chi also returned to its original form. After his transformation was interrupted, Morong Biming's accumulated anger was also interrupted. He couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. His face had already turned black, which was a sign that he was deeply poisoned. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil dominator wholly flew out of the primordial magic cauldron. Du Zhu cried out, "Son of a bitch, weren't you very awesome just now? It seems that you can't be awesome now. It's really like a dragon being played by a shrimp when he's in shallow waters, and a tiger being bullied by a dog when he's down. I didn't expect that I would end up like this today." Murong Baiming's face was extremely ugly. His eyes flashed with murderous intent. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil dominator wholly scolded at the same time. You're the shrimp, you're the dog. Your whole family is shrimp, your whole family is dogs. We haven't reached the point of life and death between us. How about we each take a step back? This is a good thing for both of us. Murong Baiming suddenly changed his tone and said aloud, I have the chance to kill you. Why should we each take a step back? Lin Feng sneered. What's more, leaving you alive is really a big problem. If that's the case, even if I die today, I'll drag someone down with me. Murong Baiming roared, and his body began to burn. Ignite my demonic body and fight to the death. Murong Baiming roared. His body continued to burn. Murong Baiming's aura became stronger and more terrifying. He quickly pounced on Lin Feng. Obviously, he wanted to drag Lin Feng down with him. Murong Baiming, give up. You're now a trapped beast. You can't change anything at all. Lin Feng looked indifferent. He waved his hand and the formation lines intertwined. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Light flickered. He, Du Zhu, and the evil dominator wholly disappeared without a trace. The pseudo-emperor puppet pounced on Murong Baiming. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil dominator wholly did not fight Murong Baiming in close combat. The three of them activated the formation and magic treasures to attack Murong Baiming. Murong Baiming was fighting back before his death. At this time, they should be more careful. Boom, 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 boom. The two sides fought fiercely for hundreds of rounds. Puff. The pseudo-emperor puppet seized the opportunity and pierced Murong Baiming's chest with its sharp claws. Murong Baiming roared in pain and slapped the pseudo-emperor puppet with his palm. The pseudo-emperor puppet quickly retreated and dodged Murong Baiming's attack. Murong Baiming looked at the wound that kept bleeding. He could not help but roar hysterically. How can this be? I can't believe I'm going to die in the hands of ants like you. I can't accept this. Lin Feng said coldly, you can only blame yourself for being too arrogant. Your cultivation is strong, but you're not invincible. Brat, I want you dead. Murong Baiming's face twisted and his body began to swell. At the same time, his body was emitting waves of destructive energy waves. Murong Baiming is going to self-detonate. Lin Feng's expression changed slightly. The destruction caused by the self-detonation of a pseudo-emperor was unimaginable. He, Du Zhu, and the evil dominator wholly entered the primitive magic cauldron again. Lin Feng also put the pseudo-emperor puppet, the 9-demon diagram, and the 5-dragon wheel into the primitive magic cauldron. Boom! In the next moment, Murong Baiming's body exploded. Destructive shock waves swept out, surging between heaven and earth. The terrifying energy hit the primitive magic cauldron. Although the cauldron was protecting them, Lin Feng and the others were still shaken by the shock waves and vomited blood. Fortunately, they managed to survive. The three of them flew out of the primitive magic cauldron and were about to leave. They saw the void crack. A cloud of black mist flew out. Chapter 2286. Not good, it's his honor. Let's split up. When he saw that strong cultivator, Lin Feng's expression changed drastically. He'd seen his honor with Du Zhu and the heretical holiness before. He knew how terrifying this person was. Now that Murong Baiming had been killed, his honor actually appeared here. This was troublesome. His honor's cultivation was too strong. He was so strong that it made people despair. So when he saw his honor, Lin Feng's first thought was to run. And he had to split up with Du Zhu and the heretical holiness. That would distract his honor. If they ran together, his honor would catch them all in one fell swoop. Whoosh! With a flash of light, Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the heretical holiness each took out a Void Dao platform. These Void Dao platforms were personally made by Lin Feng. He used precious Void Dao stones as the material and branded them with a Void Dao formation. It could teleport people 300 miles away. It was very precious. Lin Feng gave these Void Dao platforms to people close to him. They could save their lives at a critical moment. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the heretical holiness all activated their Void Dao platforms. They quickly flew in 3 different directions. In the blink of an eye, they disappeared without a trace. Void Dao platforms. Humph. You can't escape. His Honor's eyes were cold. He spat out 2 breaths. Those breaths turned into 2 clones and chased after Du Zhu and the heretical holiness. The Venerable One chased after Lin Feng to kill him. He wanted to kill Lin Feng personally. His Honor actually came. How unlucky. Lin Feng couldn't help but wail gloomily. Lin Feng didn't know how strong his Honor was, but he knew that even someone as strong as Murong Baiming was only his Honor's subordinate. Not long ago, his Honor had defeated an expert from Dark Ocean Divine Nation. I really don't know what kind of terrifying level his Honor's cultivation has reached in order to be able to defeat an expert from the stone materials. Moreover, Lin Feng had heard that his Honor still had a complete ancient demon artifact on him. The Merman Empire's ancient killing artifact had also been plundered by his Honor. One was an ancient devil artifact, and the other was an ancient killing artifact. This guy was too terrifying. If I don't run away when I encounter his Honor, I would be courting death. Swish. With a flash of light, Lin Feng rushed out of the void. Crack, crack. The Void Dao platform in his hand cracked open. This Void Dao platform could only be used once. After using it, it would be destroyed immediately. The Void Dao platform in Lin Feng's hands was no exception. After using it, it was destroyed. He did not stop and quickly flew in the direction of the Arctic tundra. However, not long after, a cloud of black fog flew out of the void. Within the black fog stood a man. This man was none other than his Honor. F***CK. Isn't that too fast? When Lin Feng saw that his Honor was chasing after him, Lin Feng's face turned green. His Honor's speed was truly too fast. After all, Lin Feng had used the Void Dao platform to teleport. In just a few seconds, he had crossed 100 miles. His Honor had relied on his own speed to quickly travel over. You. Lin Feng looked at his Honor somewhat incoherently. He hurriedly took out a second Void Dao platform. Swish. Lin Feng activated the second Void Dao platform, then disappeared without a trace. Lowly Ant, do you think you can escape just by using the Void Dao platform? His Honor's lips curved into a sinister smile. He disappeared once again. 100 miles away, Lin Feng appeared. However, as soon as he appeared in the void, his Honor was already chasing after him. It's useless. It's utterly impossible for an ant like you to escape from my hands. His Honor's expression was indifferent. Lin Feng said with a pale face, for an expert like you to deal with a junior cultivator like me, don't you think you're losing face? When I attack, I do as I please. Why would I care about anything else? His Honor laughed coldly. Lin Feng's expression became even more unsightly. A thought flashed through his mind, and he said, My Honor, I heard that you came out from the seal on Lightning Dragon Island. Did you know that I was the one who opened the seal on Lightning Dragon Island back then? For you to be able to escape, you should thank me. In the unseen world, you and I have some fate. So, you want me to let you go? His Honor looked at Lin Feng mockingly. Hee, that's right. Can you let me go? Lin Feng grinned and asked, How about I send you to a good place? His Honor laughed mischievously. Where? Lin Feng asked. The 18 levels of hell. His Honor's mouth revealed a trace of cold killing intent, and he sent a palm towards Lin Feng. Whoosh! Lin Feng took out his Dao platform and dodged his Honor's attack by a hair's breadth. Once again, he teleported 300 li away. However, he was still unable to escape from his Honor. His Honor chased after him once again. Lin Feng had a total of 8 Dao platforms on him. He activated all 8 Dao platforms. However, he was still unable to escape from his Honor. This time, Lin Feng did not even have any Dao platforms left. Although his speed was very fast, his Honor was even faster. The current situation was truly despairing. Lin Feng could not think of any way to fight against his Honor. His Honor sent a palm towards Lin Feng. When Lin Feng sensed that terrifying punch, his face turned pale with fright. He wanted to dodge, but he discovered that he was unable to dodge that terrifying palm. Heaven Mending Technique. At the moment of crisis, Lin Feng used Heaven Mending Technique and dodged that sure-kill attack. He escaped by a hair's breadth. Heaven Mending Technique. This divine ability is rather interesting. His honor looked towards Lin Feng in astonishment. However, soon after, he sneered. However, you can only use this heaven-mending technique once. Lin Feng smiled bitterly. It was indeed like what his honor said. He could only use heaven-mending technique once. Lin Feng took out his 5-dragon wheel. He wanted to activate his 5-dragon wheel and fight his honor to the death. Broken immortal equipment, there are quite a few good things. His honor's expression was indifferent as he looked towards Lin Feng. Bang! Lin Feng was immediately sent flying, and his 5-dragon wheel flew out of his hand. Facing such a terrifying existence like his honor, Lin Feng did not even have the chance to activate his 5-dragon wheel. This was because his honor was simply too terrifying. Do you know what it means to live a life worse than death? His honor's mouth curled up into a sinister smile. He flicked his finger. Sword Chi moved towards Lin Feng at full speed. Puff! Along with the sound of tearing, a series of tearing sounds could be heard. Numerous wounds could be seen on Lin Feng's body. His entire body was dripping with blood. Death by 1,000 cuts. Nothing could be compared to this. Grandson, kill me if you have the guts. Lin Feng clenched his teeth and looked towards his honor. You want to die? I can fulfill your wish. His honor laughed sinisterly, then raised his right hand and was about to send a palm towards Lin Feng. Cough, cough, cough. Right at this moment, a coughing sound could be heard from afar. Chapter 2287. This sudden cough startled Lin Feng and his honor. The two of them turned their heads to look. They saw an old man carrying a turtle shell on his back, walking over from afar. Master! When Lin Feng saw this old man, he was so excited that he nearly cried. It was actually my cheap master, Master Tortoise. But soon, Lin Feng started to worry for Master Tortoise. He had never seen Master Tortoise fight before. Lin Feng was very clear about how powerful his honor was. Master Tortoise appeared here at this time. Is he a match for his honor? If he isn't a match for his honor, he might even lose his life here. Brat, why are you running around all day? Isn't it good to stay in the sect? If you have nothing to do, you can talk about love with those beautiful female disciples in the sect. This is what a carefree and happy life is like. Master Tortoise scolded. Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. What kind of situation is this? This cheap master of mine is actually still able to say such nonsense. However, this seems to be Master Tortoise's personality, and it will never change. After hearing Master Tortoise's words, his honor couldn't help but sneer. He narrowed his eyes and looked at Master Tortoise, then said, "Who are you?" "My good disciple. Introduce your master to him." Master Tortoise said. Lin Feng first operated his immortal body to heal his injuries, then said, "My master is the famous Master Tortoise of the 9 prefectures. Now, you know my master's identity, right? Now, you know fear, right? If you know, then hurry up and leave." His honor directly ignored Lin Feng and looked at Master Tortoise. "So, you are that Master Tortoise. I heard that you are one of the oldest experts in the 9 prefectures." His honor said. Master Tortoise revealed a complacent expression and said, "You have also heard of my name? Since you know how powerful I am, then hurry up and scram. I was just about to experience your divine ability and see how strong the cultivation of the most ancient expert in the 9 prefectures is." Lord Tortoise said, "As a senior expert, I won't easily make a move. Before Lord Tortoise changes his mind, you'd better leave quickly. If you leave too late, only death will await you." His honor sneered and said, "Only death awaits me? I want to see who will die in whose hands today." Right after Yi Shiwen finished speaking, a frightening fluctuation was emitted out from his honor's body. Bang! Lin Feng was unable to withstand the aura emitted from the body of the Supreme Being and was sent flying. Wow! He spat out a mouthful of blood, and his face was filled with horror. Isn't his honor's cultivation a little too terrifying? It was just an aura, but it was enough to make him spit out blood. Just what realm is this guy at? Lin Feng looked at Lord Tortoise worriedly. Would my unscrupulous master be able to defeat his honor? Lin Feng really didn't have any confidence at all. "I can't even remember the last time I fought," Lord Tortoise said indifferently. At this moment, Lin Feng suddenly realized that Lord Tortoise had changed. Previously, Lord Tortoise had a frivolous appearance. However, the current Lord Tortoise actually gave Lin Feng a sacred and dignified feeling. Then, did you think that after so many years, this would be the last time you fight? His Honor looked at Lord Tortoise with an indifferent expression. He didn't put Lord Tortoise in his eyes at all, and his words were filled with contempt and ridicule. Lord Tortoise said indifferently, "Is that so? Then, let's see if you have the ability to do so." Chaotic Eternity. His Honor made his move and executed an extremely heaven-defying divine ability. This move, Uproar of Eternity. Endless demonic light surged out and blasted towards Lord Tortoise. The void collapsed. Heaven and earth shattered. Lin Feng was so far away, but when he sensed the chi of that attack, Lin Feng had the impression he was going to lose all hope. It was hard to imagine. Just how terrifying was this attack? Lin Feng felt that he was about to suffocate. He looked towards Lord Tortoise, wondering if Lord Tortoise would be able to withstand his Honor's terrifying attack. What made Lin Feng astonished was, facing his Honor's peerless attack, Lord Tortoise's body became illusory. That terrifying attack of his Honor penetrated through Lord Tortoise's body, which had turned illusory and exploded in midair. In the end, Lord Tortoise's body automatically dissipated. What kind of technique is this? Lin Feng was astonished. Lord Tortoise's technique had truly shocked him. After all these years of taking Lord Tortoise as his master, Lord Tortoise taught Lin Feng the 8-9 mysterious art and didn't teach any other divine ability to Lin Feng. However, it was clear that Lord Tortoise indeed had some powerful techniques. After dodging his Honor's attack, Lord Tortoise's body became more and more real. Lord Tortoise could be seen walking towards his Honor step by step. With an indifferent expression, Lord Tortoise said, "Now, it's my turn to attack." Humph! His Honor snorted coldly, and a mass of demonic mist appeared in his right hand. Within the demonic mist, an ancient demonic artifact floated. Ancient demonic artifact. After seeing that ancient demonic artifact, Lin Feng couldn't help but cry out in alarm. That ancient demonic artifact looked like a pitch-black jade-type artifact. Although the ancient demonic artifact didn't deliberately emit its own aura, it was still so terrifying that it made one's heart tremble. Swish! A light flashed. The power of that ancient demonic artifact began to recover. "I have an ancient demonic artifact. What do you have to fight against me?" Endless killing intent burst out from his Honor's eyes. That ancient demonic artifact quickly became bigger and bigger and was held in his Honor's hand. At that moment, it was as if his Honor and the ancient demonic artifact had become one. The demonic might that was emitted from the ancient demonic artifact made Lin Feng's soul tremble. His Honor was already powerful enough, and now that he had used an ancient demonic artifact, Lin Feng didn't dare to guess how powerful his Honor's attack would be. "Go to hell." His Honor laughed sinisterly. Holding onto the ancient demonic artifact, his Honor charged towards Master Tortoise. Roar! That ancient demonic artifact vaguely turned into an evil dragon, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. Facing his Honor's attack, Master Tortoise made his move. Master Tortoise could be seen raising his right hand and lightly chopping through the air. Buzz! A ray of holy light slashed out. Clang! That ray of holy light collided with the ancient demonic artifact in his Honor's hand, and a sonorous sound of collision rang out. Immediately after, the ancient demonic artifact in his Honor's hand was actually sent flying. After receiving this attack, the ancient demonic artifact, which was originally filled with boundless demonic might, instantly dimmed down. Even the demonic might was scattered. After sending his Honor's ancient demonic artifact flying, the ray of holy light condensed by Master Tortoise didn't dissipate. Instead, it continued to charge towards his Honor. His Honor retreated in horror, wanting to dodge this attack. However, he discovered that no matter how he tried to dodge, he was unable to dodge this attack. Pooh! The ray of holy light directly split his Honor into two. Someone as powerful as his Honor was insta-killed by Master Tortoise. Chapter 2288. Dead. His honor is actually dead. Lin Feng muttered to himself. His face was filled with disbelief. His honor. It was unknown just how terrifying this existence's strength was, but it actually died just like that. Lin Feng felt as if he was in a dream. A person like his honor should be a peerless expert that could stir up a storm and dominate a region. But now, he actually ended up like this. This fellow's luck was really bad. Life is really as lonely as snow, Lord Tortoise said faintly. His expression was that of a lonely expert. After Lin Feng regained his senses, he quickly flew towards the ancient demon treasure. This was an incredible utmost treasure. If he could get his hands on it, that would be way too awesome. It's mine. Don't snatch it. Lord Tortoise's figure flashed and arrived in front of the ancient demon treasure. He directly grabbed the ancient demon treasure and swept Lin Feng away with his right hand. As for Lin Feng, he pounced towards his honor's corpse that fell into the sea. He saw that there was a storage ring on his honor's hand. His honor definitely had a lot of treasures on him. Furthermore, he even had an ancient killing weapon. This is also mine. Lord Tortoise rushed over and collected his honor's corpse along with the storage ring. Master, don't go overboard. I don't want any other treasures. I only want that ancient killing weapon. Lin Feng shouted. If you can catch me, Master will give it to you, Lord Tortoise said with a smile. Then, he walked towards the distance. Lin Feng chased after Lord Tortoise. However, after chasing for 10 days and 10 nights, he was still unable to catch up with Lord Tortoise even though he could already see the Arctic ice field. F***CK, Master, are you really a tortoise? Didn't you say that tortoises are very slow? Lin Feng shouted. He wanted to cry but had no tears. Lord Tortoise scolded. Little bastard, how many times have I told you? Your master is also a sacred beast, Black Tortoise, the most ancient sacred beast, not some tortoise. Don't Black Tortoise and Tortoise look the same? Lin Feng muttered. Are you blind? Lord Tortoise scolded. Whoosh. Immediately after, Lord Turtle left the dust in the dust and disappeared without a trace. His speed was so fast that even Lin Feng couldn't help but be speechless. Are you toying with me these days? What a heartless master. Lin Feng laughed bitterly and helplessly before finding a place to rest. What is the cultivation level of this cheap master of mine? Lin Feng muttered. In fact, Lin Feng knew that the Demon Lord knew a little about Master Tortoise. However, the Demon Lord never told Lin Feng anything about Lord Tortoise, so Lin Feng was too lazy to ask the Demon Lord. Even if he asked, the Demon Lord might not tell him. Given the Yao Lord's personality, if there were some things that could be said, the Yao Lord would not hide anything from him. After resting for a while, Lin Feng went to look for the Snake Queen and the others. He quickly found the Snake Queen and the others. The Thunder Dragon Island's cultivator army moved out in time and set up camp in the Arctic tundra. Seeing that Lin Feng had returned, the Snake Queen was very happy. Lin Feng said, Everyone, I have good news. His honor and Morong Baiming are dead. Now, we should immediately return to the Netherworld Sea. Right now, the major forces are still unclear about the situation in the Netherworld Sea. This is the best time for us to expand our territory. What? His honor and Morong Baiming are both dead? Heavens, this can't be real, right? This is too unbelievable. No matter how I listen to it, it doesn't sound real. After hearing the news, the Thunder Dragon Island's cultivator army immediately started discussing. If only Morong Baiming had died, everyone would not be so shocked. After all, although Morong Baiming was strong, it was not impossible to kill him. However, his honor was also dead. This was too hard to believe. What kind of person is his honor? He was a terrifying expert who wielded an ancient demonic artifact. He was an existence who had almost killed the expert sealed in the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom's stone. He was an existence who had single-handedly destroyed almost all of the top experts in the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom and the Merfolk Empire. In many people's eyes, his honor was an existence that no one could fight against. Even an expert like the Red World Fairy might not be a match for his honor. But now, his honor was actually dead. Everyone, I saw his honor being killed with my own eyes, so there is no doubt about this. As for Morong Baiming, I killed him personally. Lin Feng shouted loudly. Everyone's spirits were lifted. Naturally, there was no need for a big shot like Lin Feng to lie about this. At this moment, everyone looked at Lin Feng with a strange expression. First, everyone was shocked because Lin Feng killed Morong Baiming. Second, everyone guessed that the expert who killed his honor was related to Lin Feng. Could it be Master Tortoise? Many people couldn't help but guess because everyone knew that Lin Feng's master was the famous Master Tortoise. Although Master Tortoise's reputation wasn't very good. But after all, he had lived for so long. Maybe he really could kill his honor. But no matter who killed his honor was now dead. Everyone was excited because they felt that following someone like Lin Feng would definitely lead to a bright future. Now, everyone was sincerely convinced by Lin Feng. Kill. Kill. The Dragon Gate Island's cultivator army suddenly roared, their voices shaking the sky. Lin Feng took out the glass bottle containing the ancient warships and released them one by one. Then, the Thunder Dragon Island's cultivator army all boarded the ancient warships. Under the leadership of the ancient starship Xinyuan, they once again returned to the Netherworld Sea. The fleet went straight in the direction of the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom because the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom was originally the center of the Netherworld Sea. After the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom was destroyed, it changed its name to the Devil Horde Nation and became the headquarters of the Devil Horde Island. If they could occupy the territory that originally belonged to the Netherworld Sea Divine Kingdom, Lin Feng's force would become the dominant force in the Netherworld Sea. More than 60% of the resources and all kinds of businesses would belong to Lin Feng. When the time came, countless experts would come to join him. This would be the second super force that Lin Feng established in the 9 prefectures. Halfway through the journey, Du Zhu and the evil Dominator Saint returned. The two of them talked about their previous encounter. They had each been chased by a clone, but at the most dangerous moment, the 2 clones suddenly disappeared. Only then did they manage to survive. Lin Feng said, "That should be when his honor was killed." "How did his honor die?" Du Zhu asked curiously. Lin Feng didn't tell the Thunder Dragon Island's cultivator army how his honor died because Lin Feng wanted to maintain a sense of mystery. Naturally, he didn't hide anything from Du Zhu and the evil Dominator Saint. He said, "My master killed his honor." Du Zhu and the evil Dominator Saint's eyes widened. They couldn't help but exclaim, "It can't be, right? Lord Tortoise, that unreliable old man? He killed his honor?" Lin Feng smiled bitterly and nodded. It was indeed him. He killed his honor with a single move. Chapter 2289. Du Zhu and the heretic sovereign saint were shocked when they heard Lin Feng's answer. Lord Tortoise's strength was beyond their expectations. "Young master, where did your master come from? It's really inconceivable that such an unreliable fellow would actually have such formidable strength." Poison Ancestor smacked his lips as he spoke. Back then, when Du Zhu was at his peak, he was also a half-emperor expert. However, a half-emperor expert was probably like an ant in front of Lord Tortoise, not worth mentioning at all. Lin Feng said with a bitter smile, "I don't know either. The only thing I know about this cheap master is that he has lived for a long time. It is said that those who were in the same generation as him are all dead." The heretic sovereign saint said, "The turtle race has a long lifespan. The black tortoise is a saint beast and has the characteristics of a turtle. Therefore, it has an even longer lifespan." Lin Feng said, "That's right. I don't know how long this cheap master of mine has lived." The 3 of them talked about Lord Tortoise for a while. However, their knowledge of Lord Tortoise was limited. Thus, after chatting for a while, they stopped talking about this topic. Next, they mainly talked about the Netherworld Sea. Right now, his honor and Morong Baiming had already fallen. Presumably, the people of Devil Isle already knew about it. Although Devil Isle had a lot of people, their island master and their backer, his honor, were dead. Devil Isle would definitely become a pile of loose sand. There was nothing to fear. Lin Feng guessed that Devil Isle's cultivator army would probably kill each other in order to fight for territory. After all, after his honor and Morong Baiming died, the higher-ups of Devil Isle would definitely not submit to anyone. They would definitely declare themselves as kings and fight for territory. The situation of internal strife was already unchangeable. And at this time, it was time for Thunder Dragon Island's cultivator army to show off their might. The Netherworld Sea was such a big territory, Thunder Dragon Island naturally could not take it all. They had to be particular about which territory to take. The original territory of Netherworld Sea God Nation was definitely going to be taken. As for the other territories, which to take and which to let other forces fight for, they needed to carefully consider. 3 days later, the fleet arrived at the Dark Ocean ancient capital. After arriving at this place, there was a fierce battle going on in the Dark Sea ancient capital. It was a mess inside. More than 10 upper echelons of the Devil Islands wanted to occupy the Dark Sea ancient capital. These people also knew the importance of the Dark Sea ancient capital. The Dark Sea ancient capital was the imperial capital of the Dark Sea Divine Kingdom. It was also the economic center of the entire Netherworld Sea. Occupying this place was equivalent to controlling the Sea of Oblivion. Therefore, none of these people were willing to give in to each other. In the end, they started fighting. At this time, Lin Feng led the army over and joined the chaotic battle. The morale of the cultivator army of the Thunder Dragon Island was at its peak. Under Lin Feng's leadership, they were simply invincible. As for the dozen or so cultivator armies that had been fighting each other, they were completely routed. Part of the cultivator army was killed, part of the cultivator army fled, and part of the cultivator army chose to surrender. There were about 800,000 cultivators who surrendered, and Lin Feng divided them into various army groups. The cultivator army of the Thunder Dragon Island had also increased to about 2-3 million. It could be said that their power had increased greatly. In the next half a month, the cultivator army of the Thunder Dragon Island occupied many important territories in the Netherworld Sea. Countless experts in the surrounding waters of the Netherworld Sea heard that his honor and Murong Baiming had died in the hands of the big shot behind the scenes of the Thunder Dragon Island. Many people came to join the Thunder Dragon Island. More than a dozen giant God Realm experts came. Heavenly God Realm and True God Realm cultivators came in an endless stream to join the Thunder Dragon Island. The power of the Thunder Dragon Island increased greatly. Not long after, the cultivator army reached 4 million people. Many top forces of the 9 prefectures also began to intervene in the affairs of the Netherworld Sea, plundering the various resources of the Netherworld Sea. Lin Feng changed the name of the Dark Sea Divine Kingdom to the Heavenly Snake Empire. The Snake Empress became the Empress of the Heavenly Snake Empire. However, everyone knew that the Snake Empress was only a figure pushed to the surface. The big shot behind the Heavenly Snake Empire did not appear. Everyone was guessing who was behind the Heavenly Snake Empire. There was news that his honor was most likely killed by Lord Tortoise, and this matter caused a huge wave. Was this unreliable Lord Tortoise so powerful? Many people were muttering. Of course, many people were dismissive of this rumor. However, there was one thing that everyone recognized. That was the big shot behind the Heavenly Snake Empire. It was an existence that absolutely could not be provoked. Therefore, although many people were very envious of the territory and resources that the Heavenly Snake Empire occupied in the Netherworld Sea, however, they did not dare to make a move against the Heavenly Snake Empire. Lin Feng was very satisfied with the Heavenly Snake Empire's situation. Now that the Heavenly Snake Empire was getting stronger day by day, Lin Feng could finally breathe a sigh of relief. It might be hard for people to believe that the Heavenly Snake Empire was actually founded by a young cultivator. The most shocking thing was that the young cultivator had not only founded the Heavenly Snake Empire, he had also founded the Dragon Sect. One had to know that the Dragon Sect was even more powerful. Now, there were already about 50 giant God Realm experts in the Dragon Sect. The cultivator army had reached 15 million people. They could even compete with some ancient immortal sects. The matters of the Netherworld Sea had finally come to an end for the time being. Lin Feng planned to prepare for the Prodigy battle. The re-ranking of the Prodigy roll that happened once every 800 years would be held in less than a year. Lin Feng was naturally quite interested in the ranking of the Prodigy roll this time. He wanted to see what level the top prodigies of the 9 states were at. Of course, the thing that attracted Lin Feng the most was that the prodigies who entered the Prodigy roll could enter the 9 states' immortal realm to search for opportunities. The Nine States Immortal Realm was considered one of the most mysterious immortal realms. The legend of immortal ascension, the door of eternal life, the heaven-shaking stone tablet, the great destiny technique, the 9 great ancient artifacts, and so on. Many things were inextricably linked to the Nine States Immortal Realm. It was said that the higher one's ranking on the prodigy roll, the more providence they would receive. After entering the Nine States Immortal Realm, the more providence they received, the greater the opportunity they received. This was also the reason why so many people tried their best to rank higher on the prodigy roll, because every time they moved one place forward, the amount of karmic luck he obtained was different. The opportunities they received after entering the Nine States Immortal Realm were also different. Since Lin Feng wanted to participate in the ranking of the prodigy roll this time, he naturally aimed for the first place. Lin Feng, let us out. We want to negotiate with you. As long as you let us out, we can negotiate any conditions. That night, Su Miaoqing and Xue Qinwu's voices sounded from the 4 ferocious cauldrons. Chapter 2290. Su Miaoqing and Xue Qinwu were suppressed in the 4 ferocious cauldrons. Lin Feng had not done anything to them previously because of various matters. Now, he had some free time. Hearing the voices of the 2 girls, Lin Feng said indifferently, I don't accept negotiations. I'll give you 2 options. The first option is to willingly become my maidservants. The second option is to become my female slaves. Lin Feng, don't go overboard. Su Miaoqing gnashed her teeth. Su Miaoqing couldn't help but gnash her teeth. Becoming Lin Feng's servant was worse than killing her. Lin Feng said, My sweetheart Miaoqing, you're just a prisoner now. You're no longer the goddess of heaven. Do you really think you're still the goddess in the hearts of countless people? I'll give you some time to think carefully about your choice. Then, Lin Feng cut off the connection with Su Miaoqing and Xue Qinwu. Lin Feng could convert the 2 girls at any time. However, Lin Feng did not do so now because he felt that it would be meaningless if he directly converted the 2 girls. After all, once they were converted, they would listen to whatever Lin Feng said and did. What was the point then? Lin Feng liked them to have their own thoughts. He didn't want them to become zombies. The next day, someone came to visit Lin Feng. He said that it was an old friend who came to visit and had a letter for Lin Feng. This made Lin Feng very surprised. Lin Feng asked the maidservant to bring the visiting cultivator in. Lin Feng found that it was a very young cultivator, but he did not recognize this young cultivator in front of him. When the cultivator saw Lin Feng, he quickly bowed to Lin Feng with a look of fear and trepidation. Although he did not know Lin Feng, when he saw that Lin Feng lived in the imperial city of the Heavenly Snake Empire and had a high status, he knew that Lin Feng was definitely a powerful figure. Lin Feng looked at the young cultivator and said, Are you here to deliver a letter? Yes. Young master, the letter is here. The young cultivator handed a letter to Lin Feng. Lin Feng opened the letter and saw the handsome boy written on it. It has been many years since we last met. Do you still remember the uninhabited ancient country in the deep sea? This was the only sentence on the letter. There was nothing else. Angel, Lin Feng was surprised. When he first came to the Nine States, he had explored the ancient country in the deep sea with Angel. Angel was beautiful, kind, and innocent. So many years had passed, but Lin Feng had never forgotten. Where is she? Asked Lin Feng asked. On Plum Island, 3,000 miles to the northwest of the Heavenly Snake Empire, said the young cultivator. Lin Feng nodded and rewarded the young cultivator with some origin crystals before letting him leave. Lin Feng decided to go to Plum Island to see Angel. He had not seen Angel for many years, and he missed her a lot. This time, Lin Feng set off alone and soon arrived at Plum Island. Plum blossoms bloomed all over the island. It was very beautiful. Lin Feng entered Plum Island and walked through the plum forest. Soon, he saw a beautiful figure. A perfect figure. Long, light blue hair. Beautiful eyes as blue as the Mediterranean Sea. A face so beautiful that it took one's breath away. Who else could it be other than Angel? Big brother Lin, long time no see. Angel smiled beautifully when she saw Lin Feng. Lin Feng walked over and smiled. I didn't expect you to send me a letter. Some time ago, something happened in the dark sea. Later, I heard from the beasts in the sea that the heavenly snake empire is related to Big Brother Lin. So I sent someone to send you a letter. I was waiting for Big Brother Lin here," said Angel. Angel was from the mermaid clan. When he killed Morong Biming and the Supreme One, no other cultivators saw it. However, it was inevitable that some of the beasts in the sea saw it. Lin Feng did not find it strange that Angel could hear the beasts in the sea talking about it. Lin Feng said, "Actually, I've been wanting to contact you. A few years ago, I saved a little mermaid. That little mermaid seems to be a lost member of your mermaid clan. I was planning to let you two get in touch and have a good chat." "Oh, little mermaid? Do you know where she is now?" asked Angel curiously. Lin Feng said, "She's with the princess of the deep-sea demon kingdom now," said Angel. "When the time comes, we can get in touch with the mermaid clan. If she wants to return to the clan, that's even better. If she doesn't want to return to the clan, she can live outside, but she must ensure her safety." Lin Feng said, "You don't have to worry about her safety. As for whether she wants to return to the mermaid clan, I'll ask her in detail the next time I see her." "Okay," Angel nodded. After Lin Feng and Angel met for a short while, Angel returned to the mermaid clan, while Lin Feng returned to the heavenly snake empire. Now that the matter in the Dark Sea had come to an end, there was less than a year left until the Prodigy Roll battle. Therefore, Lin Feng planned to return to the Reincarnation Immortal sect and cultivate in seclusion for a while. Then, he would participate in the Prodigy Roll battle with the disciples of the sect. This time, the Prodigy Roll battle would be extremely lively. All kinds of powerful existences would be present. The attraction of the 9 states celestial realm was incomparably huge. No one could resist the attraction of the 9 states celestial realm. Lin Feng, Du Zhu, and the evil sovereign holy sage returned to the Reincarnation Immortal sect. "Oh, my good disciple is back. Recently, you have established the heavenly snake empire. Most of the territories in the Dark Sea have been seized by you. You must have obtained a lot of treasures. Hurry up and take out some treasures to be filial to your master." When Master Tortoise saw Lin Feng return, he suddenly grinned. Lin Feng could not help but roll his eyes. He was speechless and said, "Master, you have the nerve to say this. I feel ashamed for you. Don't other masters pass down powerful treasures to their disciples? You have an ancient demon weapon and an ancient killing weapon. I don't want the ancient demon weapon anymore. At the very least, you should pass the broken ancient killing weapon to me, right? It would be good for me to protect myself." Master Tortoise patted Lin Feng's shoulder and said earnestly, "My good disciple, your words make me very sad. I didn't give you the ancient killing weapon because I was afraid of harming you." Lin Feng curled his lips and said, "Master, if you don't give it to me, you will be harming me." Master Tortoise said, "Boy, what do you know? With your little cultivation, you can't control the ancient killing weapon. If you carry it with you, you will be controlled by the ancient killing weapon. Therefore, I can't give you such a treasure for the time being. But don't worry, when your cultivation increases in the future, not to mention the broken ancient killing weapon, even the intact ancient demon weapon will be passed down to you." "Really?" Lin Feng looked at Master Tortoise with a doubtful look. "Of course it's true." Master Tortoise grinned and said, "Master is so good to you, so you must be filial to him. Hurry up and hand over your storage ring so that he can choose some treasures." The corner of Lin Feng's mouth twitched violently. This old swindler had said so many good words just now, but he had painted a big pie for him that he could not eat. It turned out that his main purpose was to obtain the treasures on his body. Lin Feng said, "Master, I am so poor that I don't even have any cultivation source stones. How can I have any treasures? Master's wish to obtain treasures from me has failed." "I don't believe you. Let me see your storage ring." Master Tortoise rushed towards Lin Feng. Chapter 2291. Seeing Master Tortoise pounce on him, Lin Feng turned around and ran. Master Tortoise shouted, "Brat, where do you think you're going?" Master Tortoise quickly chased after Lin Feng. Along the way, he happened to see Xia Shiyun carrying little Meng Meng back. Big brother, hug." Little Meng Meng was very happy to see Lin Feng. She had been thinking about Lin Feng all this time. She quickly opened her arms and let Lin Feng hug her. Lin Feng hugged little Ming Ming. Master Tortoise, who originally wanted to snatch Lin Feng's treasures, immediately revealed a smile when he saw little Ming Ming. Grandmaster, little Ming Ming saw you chasing Big Brother. Did Big Brother do something wrong? Little Ming Ming asked innocently. Master Tortoise always paid attention to his image in front of little Ming Ming. He smiled and said, I was playing hide and seek with your big brother Feng. Ah, hide and seek. Little Ming Ming wants to play too. Little Ming Ming said happily. Master Tortoise said, let's play hide and seek later. Right now, let's have your big brother Feng cook a big meal. Let's eat first. Little Ming Ming's eyes lit up when she heard the word big meal. Then, she looked at Lin Feng eagerly. She was about to drool. Big brother, little Ming Ming wants to eat a lot of good food. Little Ming Ming said. Lin Feng smiled and said, of course, no problem. Big brother will definitely cook a lot of good food for little Ming Ming later. Lin Feng said as he rubbed little Ming Ming's head dotingly. That's great. There's a lot of good food to eat. Little Ming Ming smiled happily. Master Tortoise finally stopped trying to snatch Lin Feng's treasures. At night, Lin Feng cooked a big meal. Xia Shiyun also stayed behind. After eating, little Ming Ming fell asleep. Lin Feng sent Xia Shiyun back. He held Xia Shiyun's lily-white hand. Xia Shiyun's pretty face suddenly turned crimson. She gently struggled and said, don't be like this. It's not good to be seen by others. Lin Feng said, what are you afraid of? So what if they saw it? Unmarried man and unmarried woman. If others see me holding your hand, they will be envious. Xia Shiyun snorted twice and stopped struggling. She let Lin Feng grab her hand. The next day, Lin Feng heard that Shui Linglong had come out of seclusion, so he went to pay a visit to this senior sister Linglong. Shui Linglong's clothes were as white as snow. She was as beautiful as ever. Moreover, Shui Linglong's body now had a faintly discernible, immortal aura. This feeling was very strange, and it shocked Lin Feng. In this period of time, this mysterious senior sister Shui Linglong must have made great progress. Back then, I vaguely sensed several evil powers on junior brother's body. However, I was unable to determine what those powers were. Now, the evil powers on junior brother's body are even stronger. Those evil powers should be curse powers, right? Shui Linglong looked at Lin Feng. She did not hide anything from Lin Feng. Daring to mention the curses on Lin Feng's body was a huge risk. Because the Tao of curses was too strange, casually mentioning the curses on someone else's body might cause one to be implicated. Lin Feng nodded and said, yes, I have several curses on my body. Originally, there were 3 curses on my body: the Heavenly Master Path's curse, the Human Skin curse, and another curse that I do not know about. Later, another curse appeared, the curse from the Boat of Curses. Shui Linglong said, the Tao of curses is the most strange. In the past, there were some experts who comprehended the Tao of fate, but they could not get rid of the Tao of curses. However, I can vaguely see that the 4 curses on your body are suppressing each other. Therefore, the 4 curses are now in a relatively balanced state. It is also because of this that the 4 curses have not erupted with their most terrifying power. Lin Feng stroked his chin. These curses did not come to find him all the time. Was it because the 4 curses were competing with each other? Was the winning side responsible for dealing with him? The more Lin Feng thought about it, the more likely it was. Senior sister, do you have a way to deal with these curses? Lin Feng asked. Shui Linglong was too mysterious. It was rumored that she was the reincarnation of an extremely ancient expert. Therefore, Shui Linglong said that she might have a way. Shui Linglong thought for a while and said, in the past, I have seen some experts break their own curses, but I do not know how they did it. How about this? I will give your junior brother an item. At a critical moment, it may be able to change your destiny. Shui Linglong said and took out a stone. This is... Lin Feng looked at the stone in his hand and could not help but look at Shui Linglong with some doubts. This science stone looked ordinary. Lin Feng really could not find out what was so mysterious about this stone. Shui Linglong said, this stone has the power of destiny integrated into it. I call it the Stone of Destiny. Many times, a person's destiny can be changed, Wear this stone on your body. If you encounter something that you cannot solve, crush this stone. The power of destiny inside will help you. Stone of Destiny. Lin Feng's eyes suddenly lit up. This was a good thing. It could change one's destiny. This senior sister of his was getting more and more mysterious. Lin Feng had a kind of reverence for her. Lin Feng suddenly felt apprehensive. Previously, he still wanted to win the beauty's heart. But now, it seemed that the gap between him and this senior sister was getting bigger and bigger. However, Lin Feng was not discouraged. Although there was still a big gap between him and this senior sister, as his cultivation increased, he would be able to catch up with Shui Linglong sooner or later. Such a strange woman. He must not miss this opportunity. Of course, Lin Feng would definitely not say these words to Shui Linglong now. That would be overestimating himself. I am going to leave, Shui Linglong said. Senior sister, are you going out to train? The 9 prefectures is so big. There are many places that you can visit to increase your knowledge. Lin Feng said. Shui Linglong smiled and did not say anything. Lin Feng was slightly stunned. Then, he understood the deep meaning in Shui Linglong's words. Shui Linglong was obviously not going to leave the sect. She probably wanted to leave the 9 prefectures. Senior sister, where are you going? The Undying World? Or other great worlds? Lin Feng asked. The Undying World was the only place where one could become an emperor among the 3,000 great worlds. Lin Feng thought. Shui Linglong was very likely to go to the Undying World like Fairy Qing Shui. Shui Linglong said, the world is very big. I want to see everywhere. Maybe one day, I will go to the Undying World. Once senior sister leaves, I don't know when we will be able to meet again. Lin Feng said. Shui Linglong said, if fate allows, we will meet again sooner or later. Lin Feng nodded and said, when does senior sister plan to leave? In a few days, Shui Linglong said. I will send senior sister off at that time. Lin Feng said. Shui Linglong hesitated for a moment. She was used to being alone. However, Shui Linglong thought about it and nodded. Perhaps, before leaving, someone would send her off. It was also a good feeling. Chapter 2292. On a drizzling day, Lin Feng sent Shui Linglong off. This senior sister of his had a very special place in Lin Feng's heart. Now that Shui Linglong had left, he was filled with emotions. Everyone had their own life, their own pursuits, and their own Tao. The only thing we can do is to wish them a brighter future. Lin Feng returned to the sect, and old Devil Mo sent someone to summon Lin Feng to the Reincarnation Valley. After arriving at the Reincarnation Valley, Lin Feng sensed the aura of the Reincarnation Everlasting Fire. This heavenly fire ranked 17th made Lin Feng's heart pound. However, he did not have the ability to refine this heavenly fire. This was a treasure of the Reincarnation Immortal Sect, and it was sealed in the Reincarnation Pagoda by the Reincarnation Emperor. Old Devil Mo was one of the oldest experts in the 9 prefectures, and he was also a powerful alchemist. He had an extremely strange temperament. He and Lord Tortoise had been plotting something all these years. Back then, Old Devil Mo had told Lin Feng something. Lord Tortoise had told him to cultivate the 8-9 arcane art. It was because he wanted Lin Feng to do something extremely important, and this matter seemed to require someone who had cultivated the 8-9 arcane art to do it. However, Lin Feng still did not know what this matter was. Old Devil Mo kept his mouth shut. Naturally, Lord Tortoise would not tell Lin Feng about this in advance. When Lin Feng arrived at Old Monster Mo's place, he was studying a mysterious reagent. Old Devil Mo stopped when he saw Lin Feng. He grinned and said, Kid, long time no see. Looks like you've improved a lot over the years. Lin Feng looked at Old Devil Mo warily. The last time he came, he was thrown into the 9 Hells Purgatory by Old Devil Mo. That was a fate worse than death. Lin Feng instinctively felt that Old Devil Mo did not have good intentions for calling him here. Therefore, Lin Feng asked straightforwardly, Senior, why have you summoned me? Eccentric Mo's smile grew even more brilliant as he said, Look at what you're saying. Can't I call you over if there's nothing important? Lin Feng said, Of course. What this junior means is that if Senior has something to say, you can tell this junior directly. Brat, Your awareness is really high. No wonder you were able to cause so much trouble outside all these years. Old Monster Emo grinned as he said, Actually, I've called you here today because I have something to discuss with you. Lin Feng could not help but mutter to himself. Just as he had guessed, there must be a reason why Old Monster Emo was looking for him. If there's nothing else, this guy won't think of me. Lin Feng asked, What is it? You should know about our reincarnation immortal sect's reincarnation everlasting fire, right? Upon hearing Old Monster Emo mention the endless reincarnation flame, Lin Feng's mind jolted. Lin Feng was all too familiar with the endless reincarnation flame. Ever since he found out about the reincarnation immortal sect's reincarnation everlasting fire, he had been searching for it. In fact, he had even searched for information regarding the endless reincarnation flame. Lin Feng had been keeping an eye on the endless reincarnation flame. If he had the chance to refine it, Lin Feng would not care if it was the reincarnation immortal sect's ultimate treasure. He would refine it without hesitation. However, Lin Feng had never had the chance to come into contact with the endless reincarnation flame, let alone refine it. Lin Feng said, I've heard of the endless reincarnation flame before. Is it suppressed on the 7th floor of the reincarnation pagoda? Old Monster Emo narrowed his eyes as he looked at Lin Feng and said, Brat, you seem to know quite a lot about the endless reincarnation flame. Could it be that you have designs on it? Old Monster Emo was guarding the reincarnation pagoda. Lin Feng guessed that Old Monster Emo was most likely guarding the endless reincarnation flame. Naturally, Lin Feng would not admit to spying on the endless reincarnation flame in front of Old Monster Emo. If he were to admit it, who knew how Old Monster Emo would react? Lin Feng said, This junior does not dare to spy on the endless reincarnation flame. Moreover, it is such a high-ranked heavenly flame. This junior can't refine it even if he wanted to. Moreover, this junior knows about the endless reincarnation flame, so there's nothing to be surprised about, right? There are many people in the sect who know about the endless reincarnation flame, all right? Old Monster Emo stared deeply at Lin Feng and did not continue to dwell on the matter. He said, This old man knows that you have several types of heavenly flames. Now, this old man wants to borrow your heavenly flames to suppress the endless reincarnation flame. After that, this old man will enter the 7th floor where the endless reincarnation flame is suppressed to retrieve an item. Retrieve an item? What item? Lin Feng looked at Old Monster Emo curiously. If Old Monster Emo was willing to take the risk to enter the 7th floor where the endless reincarnation flame was suppressed, then the item must be extraordinary. However, Old Monster Emo clearly had no intention of telling Lin Feng anything. He said, Don't ask what you shouldn't ask. Lin Feng could not help but roll his eyes. Is this the attitude of someone who is asking for a favor? Who said that this old man is asking for a favor? Old Monster Emo cackled a few times before continuing. Regardless of whether you want to do it or not, you can't escape today. Lin Feng said, So you're forcing me to do something, right? That's right. Old Monster Emo waved his right hand, and the door to the 1st floor of the reincarnation pagoda closed. Lin Feng was speechless. There's no need for this, right? Isn't it just helping Senior suppress the endless reincarnation flame? It's not a big deal. This junior will do as you say. I closed the door to prevent anyone from disturbing us. Come with me. Let's go take a look at the 7th floor. Old Monster Emo grabbed Lin Feng, and the two of them vanished. A moment later, they arrived in a forest. The 7th floor of the reincarnation pagoda is actually a mountain and river? Lin Feng was astonished. Old Monster Emo said, What's there to be surprised about? A treasure of this level already contains the power of a world. What's so strange about it forming a mountain and river? Lin Feng nodded and followed behind Old Monster Emo. At that moment, the demon's voice entered Lin Feng's mind. This Old Monster Emo is not human. Not human? Lin Feng was astonished. The demon lord would not be mistaken. If Old Monster Emo was not human, could he be the reincarnation pagoda's artifact spirit? Lin Feng suddenly recalled how Old Monster Emo had instantly teleported him from the 1st floor to the 7th floor. It was as though he had teleported. This was a treasure forged by the reincarnation emperor. The Reincarnation Emperor had no problem teleporting through the Reincarnation Pagoda, but Old Monster Mo should not have been able to do it so easily. Of course, if Old Monster Mo was the Reincarnation Pagoda's artifact spirit, then it would be a different story. This Old Monster Mo has hidden himself quite well. He has probably transformed into a powerful artifact cultivator, right? However, I wonder if he has transformed into a god. Lin Feng could not help but ponder. Chapter 2293. Lin Feng followed Old Monster Mo into the depths of the sea. He asked, "Where's the place where the endless reincarnation flame is suppressed?" Old Monster Mo replied, "It's in the Reincarnation Sea of Flames." The Reincarnation Sea of Flames was originally a sea of extreme cold, and it contains the laws of extreme cold. Later, the Reincarnation Emperor moved it into the Reincarnation Pagoda to suppress the endless reincarnation flame. Lin Feng said, "The endless reincarnation flame was ranked 17th in the past. Suppressing it must have been extremely difficult, right?" Of course it's extremely difficult. Back then, the great Emperor of Reincarnation didn't extinguish the fire of reincarnation. Mr. Emo started talking with assurance, but then he stopped and stared at Lin Feng. "Little boy, you want to make me tell you something, right? Don't even think about it. I won't fall for it so easily." Lin Feng said, "Look at what you're saying. I'm just casually chatting with you, and you're already so wary of me. It's really sad to see you like this." Old Monster Emo pursed his lips and said, "Forget it. How can a disciple taught by Lord Tortoise be anything good? I know that very well." Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes and say, "Look at what you're saying. Everyone loves me. Flowers bloom when they see me." Old Monster Emo said, "Lord Tortoise is thick-skinned, but you're even more thick-skinned than Lord Tortoise. I won't submit to anyone except you." Lin Feng and Old Monster Emo continued to mock each other along the way. An hour later, Lin Feng sensed that the temperature was getting lower and lower. Clearly, it was because they were gradually approaching the Reincarnation Sea of Flames. The Reincarnation Sea of Flames contained the powerful laws of extreme cold, and it was an extremely cold place. Another 4 hours passed, and Lin Feng finally arrived at the Reincarnation Sea of Flames with Old Monster Emo looking into the distance. He could see a huge ocean. This ocean was a fiery red ocean. One could even vaguely see flames burning in the ocean, but what was shocking was that the temperature around the ocean was extremely low. Lin Feng shivered in fear. However, the temperature was so cold that it did not freeze. Heavenly flames were the hottest. The law of absolute frost was the coldest of all. Two completely opposite forces were working together to create the strange situation before his eyes. Do you see that ball of fiery red light? That ball of fiery red light is the samsara everlasting fire that's being suppressed within it. Old Monster Emo said as he pointed to a gigantic ball of fiery red light in the depths of the samsara sea of flames. Lin Feng had already seen that fiery red ball of light. He frowned slightly and asked, "Is the reincarnation ever-extinguishing fire spirit still alive?" Old Monster Emo replied, "Alive. That's why it's extremely dangerous. If the fire spirit of the endless fire cycle were to die, I wouldn't need your help." Lin Feng nodded and said, "All right, let's go take a look." Next, the two of them flew into the Reincarnation Sea of Flames. They entered the sea. There was a huge ball of light in the sea. The ball of light was formed from the laws of absolute frost and countless monarch runes. "Huh, this is..." Suddenly, Lin Feng cried out in surprise. Among the many laws, he saw a law that stood out from the rest. The law was wrapped in immortal energy, and it contained an extremely terrifying and powerful immortal energy. Upon sensing the power of the law, Lin Feng's face was filled with shock. An immortal law? It was actually an immortal law. Isn't the Samsara Emperor a great emperor? How did he manage to grasp an immortal law? Lin Feng asked doubtfully. If you can grasp an emperor law with your cultivation, what's so strange about the Samsara Emperor grasping an immortal law? Old Devil Emo couldn't help but roll his eyes. Lin Feng smiled bitterly and nodded. It was indeed as Old Monster Emo had said. There was no lack of monstrous geniuses in this world. As for great emperors, They could no longer be described as monstrous geniuses, great emperors. Their methods were so terrifying that others could not even begin to imagine them. Wong. Suddenly, the sealed samsara everlasting fire seemed to have sensed something and emitted a shocking heat wave. Lin Feng felt as if a pair of eyes had opened within the samsara everlasting fire. The pair of eyes was currently staring at him. It was an extremely strange feeling, but it was also very intense. Lin Feng could not help but frown. Could it be that the fire spirit of the samsara everlasting fire has awakened? He could not help but mutter inwardly. However, when Lin Feng carefully tried to sense the gaze, he could not sense anything. Old Monster Mo looked at Lin Feng and said, "Let's begin. How should I deal with the samsara everlasting fire?" Lin Feng looked at Old Monster Mo in confusion. Old Eccentric Mo said, "Just send your heavenly flames into these laws. These laws will transfer your heavenly flames into the internal space. At that time, these laws will strengthen your heavenly flames and suppress the samsara incandescent flame." Without hesitation, Lin Feng brought out the 4 heavenly fires. The purple earthcore fire, the black blazing god incinerating fire, the netherworld hellfire, and the golden dragon divine flame flew out and poured into the dense array of laws. The laws that sealed the samsara everlasting fire were very intelligent and could differentiate between friend and foe. Therefore, the laws were extremely friendly towards Lin Feng's 4 heavenly fires. The 4 heavenly fires entered the internal space. Next, powerful laws surged into the internal space. All the power surged into the 4 heavenly fires, and the might of the 4 heavenly fires was unleashed. Then, the laws began to suppress the samsara everlasting fire. The samsara everlasting fire tried to resist, but under the combined suppression of the laws and the 4 heavenly fires, the samsara everlasting fire failed to resist. Old Monster Mo quickly entered the internal space. The internal space that sealed the samsara everlasting fire was extremely huge. Lin Feng did not enter. Instead, he waited outside quietly. What else is in this internal space apart from the samsara everlasting fire? Lin Feng could not help but mutter to himself. There are many things in this internal space. There are some mysterious immortal origin stones, immortal sources, and even blood, immortal scriptures, and so on. Kid, do you want them? Suddenly, a voice rang out in Lin Feng's mind. The voice was filled with temptation. "You're the fire spirit?" When he heard the voice, Lin Feng could not help but frown. The fire spirit continued, "That's right. I'm the fire spirit of the samsara everlasting fire. Kid, why don't we work together? As long as you find a way to release me, those treasures will be yours. If you can obtain those treasures, you'll definitely soar and become a peerless expert in the future. No one will be able to defeat you." Lin Feng remained unmoved. With an indifferent expression, he said, "Even if I can't obtain those treasures, I'll still become an amazing person." Chapter 2294. Brat, that's not self-confidence, it's arrogance. In my long life, I've seen too many amazing talents. They were young, gifted, and powerful. But in the end, those people were annihilated. But don't worry, as long as you can get those things, you won't fall prematurely. I guarantee that you'll become a peerless and invincible figure. Hualing continued to entice Lin Feng, wanting to cooperate with him. How could Lin Feng believe Hualing's nonsense? Heavenly flames could evolve by devouring each other. If samsara unextinguished fire escaped, the first thing it would do would be to kill him and devour his 4 heavenly flames. As the 17th ranked heavenly flame, samsara unextinguished fire would definitely complete a transformation after devouring his 4 heavenly flames. At that time, no one knew what level of heavenly flame it would evolve into, but one could imagine that it would definitely evolve into an extremely heaven-defying heavenly flame. Therefore, Lin Feng would not cooperate with samsara unextinguished fire at all. Moreover, once samsara unextinguished fire was released, Old Monster Mo might die. This was naturally something that Lin Feng did not want to see. "No matter what you say, I won't cooperate with you. So, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it." Lin Feng curled his lips and said, "Brat, Do you know that opportunities in life are often fleeting? When an opportunity descends and you can't grasp it, it'll be too late to regret it in the future. Hua Ling said. Lin Feng sneered and said, Is that so? Those words won't be able to sway my heart. Save it. Instead of wasting time persuading me, why don't you rest more? Hua Ling wanted to persuade Lin Feng again, but Lin Feng took the initiative to cut off the connection with Hua Ling. This fellow was not a good person, so Lin Feng could not be bothered to pay attention to him. 6 hours later, old monster Mo flew out. Hee hee, I finally got the thing out. It took a lot of effort. I was worried that you and Hua Ling would come to some agreement and trick me. Old monster Mo said with a grin. Lin Feng rolled his eyes at old monster Mo and said, Am I that kind of person? Ha 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 ha. Old monster Mo laughed loudly and said, I know you're not that kind of person, so I asked you for help. This thing is your reward. Old monster Mo said as he handed an origin crystal to Lin Feng. This origin crystal was milky white in color. It was very different from ordinary crystal origin crystals. When Lin Feng grabbed the crystal, he felt a very special feeling. He felt as if he had grabbed a heavenly immortal chi. Immortal treasure was a treasure. Immortal treasure, precious treasure it. This was a supreme treasure, an origin crystal that contained the essence of the immortal Tao. It was not something that ordinary origin crystals could compare to. The rarity of immortal stones could be described as hard to find. Old monster Mo said, Back then, the great emperor sealed some things in this space, including some extremely precious treasures and even some immortal techniques. However, it is very difficult to break the seal and retrieve those things. Even I have to put in a lot of effort to retrieve those things. This surprised Lin Feng. Old monster Mo should be the reincarnation pagoda's artifact spirit. Wouldn't he be able to retrieve the things placed in the reincarnation pagoda as he wished? However, that did not seem to be the case. Moreover, the reincarnation immortal flame's fire spirit had said that it would give him all the treasures sealed in the reincarnation pagoda if he let it out. It seemed like it was lying to him. Even old monster Mo found it difficult to retrieve those things, let alone the reincarnation immortal flame's fire spirit. Why did the great emperor seal those things in here? Could it be that he was waiting for a successor to appear? Lin Feng could not help but ask. He pointed at himself and continued, Look at me. I'm handsome, young, promising, upright, talented, and calm. Don't you think that I'm the most suitable successor to the great emperor? I feel that these treasures are all mine. Let me refine the reincarnation pagoda. Old monster Mo rolled his eyes and said, Don't be so shameless, all right? Scram as far away as you can. Whoosh. Old monster Mo waved his right hand and threw Lin Feng out of the pagoda. F***CK. You're chasing me away after using me? You can't be so shameless. Lin Feng could not help but curse. However, old monster Mo did not appear again. Lin Feng asked for a snub, so he left. He had helped old monster Mo a little and received an immortal stone in return. Lin Feng was very satisfied. After returning to the barren mountain, Lord Tortoise looked at Lin Feng and said, Did old monster Mo summon you? Lin Feng nodded and said, He asked me to help him suppress the undying reincarnation flame. He entered the space where the undying reincarnation flame was suppressed to retrieve something. However, Senior Mo did not tell me what he retrieved. Hearing Lin Feng's words, Lord Tortoise nodded and said, All right, you can go and rest. Lin Feng acknowledged and returned to his residence to rest. He began to adjust his state of mind. This was because Lin Feng planned to refine the immortal origin stone he had obtained from old monster Mo. Immortal origin stones were the highest grade of origin crystals. They contained immortal origin energy and had a huge effect on a cultivator's cultivation. Currently, Lin Feng's cultivation was at early stage 7th heavenly layer true God. As he gradually refined and absorbed the energy within the immortal origin stone, Lin Feng's cultivation also began to rise. Soon, it reached mid-stage 7th heavenly layer. Not long after, it broke through to late-stage 7th heavenly layer, followed by peak 7th heavenly layer. After his cultivation reached peak 7th heavenly layer true God, after a slight delay, he broke through to 8th heavenly layer true god. In the end, Lin Feng's cultivation stopped at mid-stage 8th heavenly layer true god. This immortal origin stone's effects are too good. It's a pity that there's only one. If there were more, wouldn't I be able to directly break through to the heavenly god realm? Lin Feng could not help but smack his lips. After breaking through, Lin Feng chose to go into seclusion. In the following half a year, Lin Feng had been sorting out the various divine abilities that he cultivated. He was consolidating his own cultivation. While Lin Feng was in seclusion for half a year, the 9 prefectures was extremely chaotic. First, a ball of blazing heavenly flame appeared. After hearing this news, many people went to subdue that ball of heavenly flame. However, when they found that ball of heavenly flame, they discovered that the ball of heavenly flame actually had an owner. The owner of the heavenly flame was a very young cultivator. However, that young cultivator was abnormally terrifying. The most hair-raising thing was that the young cultivator had a Tao protector shrouded in flames beside him. A giant god realm expert wanted to kill that young cultivator and snatch the heavenly flame. However, that Tao protector killed the giant god realm expert, who wanted to snatch the heavenly flame with just a glance. It was simply unimaginable how strong that Tao protector was. Chapter 2295. Soon, the news spread. The heavenly flame that appeared was the 8th-ranked god-devouring black flame. As for the young man, he had mastered the god-devouring black flame. His origin was very mysterious, and he was known as the son of the heavenly demon emperor. Many people were shaken by this. The heavenly demon emperor was an extraordinary existence. He was an expert from the Desolation era and came from the heavenly demon clan. The heavenly demon clan was one of the strongest clans among the demon clans. They possessed heaven-defying talent. Not to mention the demon race, even among all the races in the universe, this race was one of the most powerful races. Back in the day, the heavenly demon emperor reigned supreme in his era and was nearly invincible. He had left behind countless legends in the dazzling Desolation era. Later on, the heavenly demon emperor passed away for unknown reasons, and the heavenly demon clan vanished without a trace. Many people guessed that the heavenly demon clan might have encountered some unforeseen event. Who would have thought that after countless years, the heavenly demon emperor's son would be born? The heavenly demon emperor's son's talent must be heaven-defying in this era. The heavenly demon emperor is someone who has slaughtered immortals. No one knows how strong his bloodline is. Now that his son has been born and inherited the strongest bloodline in the world, one can imagine how strong the heavenly demon emperor's son is. He must be a supreme existence among the younger generation. I'm afraid many of the older generation won't be a match for him. Many people were discussing the heavenly demon emperor's son. Not long after the heavenly demon emperor's son was born, another powerful existence was born. It was said that it was a young girl who looked to be only 13 or 14 years old. She went out alone. Someone wanted to attack her, but she easily killed them. The other party's accomplices gathered over 1,000 experts to capture the mysterious girl. There was no lack of top experts among them. There were even 2 giant gods among them. However, so many experts were easily killed by the girl. You dare to provoke the daughter of the Devil Emperor? Are you tired of living? The girl's voice resounded through the forest, shocking and moving many of the spectators. A blood-marked demon. An old cultivator recognized the girl's identity. Blood-marked demons were an extremely ancient clan. It was said that this race was even more ancient than the Heaven Devil race. The blood-striped demons had a blood-red rune between their eyebrows. This was the symbol of the blood-striped demons and the most terrifying part of them. It was said that the blood-colored rune contained the most terrifying power. As long as the rune lightly swept across it, it would be destroyed. The void collapsed in an instant. Heaven and earth were destroyed in an instant. The power was so strong that it was shocking. The blood-marked demon clan was a clan that had disappeared over the years. Now, a young woman from the blood-marked demon clan had appeared, and she claimed to be the daughter of a great emperor. I remember now. 10 years ago, someone dug out a piece of stone from the ancestral land of the blood-marked demon clan. There was a little girl sealed in the stone. Later, Someone wanted to cut the stone open, but the stone ran away. Could it be that the girl in front of him was the little girl from back then? She broke through the stone and walked out. A cultivator said, I remember that too. Now, it seems that the girl might be the little girl from back then. I didn't expect her to become so powerful in just a few years, someone said with a sigh. The Bloodmark Demon Clan is a clan that existed before the primordial era. Back then, some of the peak demon emperors of the demon clan were strong enough to fight against immortals. Could this girl's father be a demon emperor of that level? Who knows? Countless years have passed. It's hard to find out. Many people were talking about the daughter of a demon emperor. Now that the prodigy ranking was about to begin, many peak experts of the younger generation had appeared in the 9 prefectures. This made many people very excited, because with the appearance of these top experts among the younger generation, the battle for the prodigy list would be even more intense and exciting. Have you heard? Someone found a sacred stone at the shore of the East Sea. The sacred stone absorbed the essence of heaven and earth and the spiritual energy of the sun and moon. It seems to have given birth to a sacred fetus. Many people have gone to fight for the sacred fetus. If they can refine the sacred fetus into an avatar, it will be amazing. What? It gave birth to a sacred fetus? That's unbelievable. Let's go and take a look. Many cultivators went to the shore of the East Sea to see the sacred fetus. At the shore of the East Sea, there was an immortal stone on a reef that faced the sea. It was that immortal stone that gave birth to the sacred fetus. Previously, the immortal stone was surrounded by a huge rock. Therefore, the people who passed by didn't notice anything special about it. However, some time ago, sacred light soared into the sky. The rock cracked open. The immortal stone was revealed. Countless cultivators rushed over and started a crazy fight for the immortal stone. Rivers of blood flowed in this place. No one noticed that the essence of the blood that flowed out was quietly absorbed by the immortal stone. The cultivators fought for 3 days and 3 nights. The immortal stone absorbed the essence of the blood for 3 days and 3 nights. Crack, crack. Finally, the immortal stone seemed to have absorbed enough essence of the blood and began to crack. When they heard this voice, the cultivators who were fighting stopped and looked towards the immortal stone. Crack, crack. The immortal stone cracked more and more violently. Not long after, the immortal stone shattered. A man stepped out. That man was surrounded by cyan light. The green energy eventually turned into a green robe that covered the man's body. The sacred fetus has been born. Many people cried out in surprise. Then, they were filled with unwillingness. If they had obtained the sacred fetus before, they might have refined the sacred fetus into their external incarnation. But now, the sacred fetus had been born. They could no longer refine it into an external incarnation. Since I can't refine it into an external incarnation, I'll kill the soul of the sacred fetus today and refine it into a sacred fetus puppet. An expert walked over from afar. The aura that emanated from the expert's body was simply suffocating. Thousand Hands Devil Monarch, Chu Wuming. Someone recognized the expert. He was a Devil Dao expert at the 5th celestial stage of the giant god realm. Seeing him make a move, the people who wanted to attack stopped. They didn't dare to fight with Chu Wuming for the prey. Die. Chu Wuming sent a palm strike toward the man who had transformed into the sacred fetus. The eyes of the man turned cold. He raised his right hand and gently slashed across the void. A sword chi flew out. Puff. With a ripping sound, Chu Wuming, a 5th celestial stage expert, was cleaved in half. Everyone looked at the man who had transformed into the sacred fetus in shock. He had killed a 5th celestial stage expert with a single move. Wasn't that too terrifying? Remember my name. I am Qing Emperor, the sacred fetus said with an indifferent expression. Qing Emperor. Many people muttered this name. They felt their hearts tremble. Countless years ago, there was an existence called Qing Emperor who had swept through the world and was invincible. He was an expert of the devil race. Rumor had it that Qing Emperor had even killed the living beings in the black fog. Since the fall of Qing Emperor, there was no Qing Emperor in the world. No one dared to call themselves Qing Emperor. But countless years had passed. The man who had been born from the sacred fetus actually called himself Qing Emperor. Where did he get the courage to call himself Qing Emperor? Or perhaps there was another possibility. Was he the reincarnation of the dead Qing Emperor? Chapter 2296. In the half a year before the prodigy ranking, the entire 9 states was bustling with activity. Firstly, it was because the prodigy ranking had attracted a lot of attention. Secondly, it was because of the drastic changes in the world. Many powerful existences sealed in stone had come out. Some of the creatures born from the stones had also come out. There were many people like the son of the heavenly demon emperor, the little witch, and the Qing emperor. The prodigy ranking would definitely be unprecedentedly intense. This is the 3000th era after the beginning of this era, also known as the Age of Destruction. When this era ends, all the worlds will be destroyed. Only a few lucky ones will be able to survive. The creatures that were sealed in the past will sense the changes in the world and come out one after another. In fact, not only the younger generation of cultivators, but the older generation of cultivators sealed in stone will also choose to awaken in this era. The prodigy ranking is already extremely intense. With the appearance of these creatures, there will be even more excitement. When the time comes, the prodigy ranking will be unprecedentedly intense. It's not just the prodigy ranking. The sovereign ranking is about to begin. It'll definitely be exciting. Countless cultivators were talking about the prodigy ranking, the sovereign ranking, and the experts who had broken the seals and come out. It didn't matter if they were the younger generation, the older generation, or the younger generation. They had all reappeared in front of the world. Any one of them was enough to cause a huge uproar. Lin Feng finally came out of seclusion after half a year. During this period of seclusion, he had sorted out his various divine abilities and gained a clearer understanding of the Tao. Although he hadn't made a breakthrough in his realm, his strength had greatly increased. The disciples participating in the prodigy ranking were about to set off. The prodigy ranking would be held in the Holy Ground realm of the Holy Ground Sea. The Holy Ground Sea was located in the western part of the 9 states. It was a vast sea that stretched as far as the eye could see. It was extremely dangerous and famous because of the existence of the true Holy Ground world. The true Holy Ground world was an extremely dangerous place. It was divided into 2 parts. The first part was called the Original Ruins world. This was where the prodigy ranking would be held. The second place was called the Sky Ruin world. This was where the sovereign leaderboard battle took place. The Original Ruins realm and the Sky Ruins realm were connected, but there were powerful laws that separated the 2 places. Therefore, it was impossible to travel freely between these 2 places. Whether it was the Original Ruins realm or the Sky Ruins realm, there were many opportunities. The Genius Roll Battle was a large group of people entering the Original Ruins realm to search for the Dragon Chi. Draconic Chi. It was a special kind of energy produced in the Yuanshu realm. The dragon energy was very important. In order to enter the Heaven's Chosen Dojo, one had to collect enough Dragon Chi. The Heaven's Chosen Dojo had a total of 5 levels of heaven. There were many opportunities in each Heaven's Chosen Dojo. If one wanted to obtain the opportunity inside, they would have to spend enough dragon energy to exchange for it. Therefore, the importance of the dragon energy was evident. To enter the Heaven's Chosen Dojo, one needed to spend dragon energy. To obtain the opportunities within the Heaven's Chosen Dojo, one also needed to spend dragon energy. Therefore, the most important thing to do after entering the Original Ruins realm was to collect Draconic Chi. Draconic Chi was precious, and it was not easy to obtain it. Of course, there were countless opportunities in the Heaven's Chosen Dojo. In fact, there were also many opportunities outside the Heaven's Chosen Dojo. The opportunities outside the Heaven's Chosen Dojo did not need to consume dragon energy. However, the most heaven-defying opportunities were inside the Heaven's Chosen Dojo. So many people were keen to participate in the Genius Roll battle. Firstly, it was because of the 9 states paradise. Secondly, it was because of the various opportunities in the Original Ruins realm. Cultivators who participated in the Genius Roll battle had to be less than 1,000 years old. For cultivators who had a lifespan of hundreds of thousands or even millions of years, 1,000 years of lifespan passed in the blink of an eye. Therefore, many people were unable to participate in the Heaven's Pride List battle. Of course, there were also many experts of suitable age who were not interested in participating in the Heaven's Pride List battle. Such people would not participate in the Heaven's Pride List battle. As for the young cultivators who walked out of the stone materials, their age was fixed at the moment they were sealed by the stone materials. As long as they were under 1,000 years old when they were sealed, they could participate in the genius roll battle after they were born. The life of the living beings born in the immortal stones, sacred stones, and other stones was also calculated from the moment they broke out of the stone. As long as they were under 1,000 years old, they could participate in the genius roll battle as usual. There were about 2,000 young cultivators from the Reincarnation Immortal sect participating in the genius roll battle this time. However, Lin Feng did not know many of these disciples. For example, young Master Hans Han, young Master Mingyue, and the others were in the previous genius roll battle. 800 years had passed. Their lifespan had exceeded 1,000 years. Therefore, they could no longer participate in the new genius roll battle. Lin Feng boarded the ancient ship and waited for it to depart to the original ruins realm. Why can I go up, but not my donkey? Is there a rule that says I can't bring my pet beast? Curses could be heard from below. It attracted the attention of many people. Ahaha, ahaha. A fatso started arguing with a few disciples who were in charge of maintaining order on the ancient ship. Little Donkey, on the other hand, started yelling from the side. The leader of the disciples said in a low voice, "Junior brother, we didn't say you can't bring your pet beast. We're saying that your pet beast must be kept in your imperial beast pouch or other dharma treasures. The ancient ship is where the disciples, deacons, elders, and even the sect's patriarchs rest. You can't let your pet wander around." Fatso said, "My pet is very obedient. It won't wander around. Hurry up and let us go up. Otherwise, I'll let you have a taste of my punch bag-sized fist." The faces of the few disciples sank. Just as they were about to throw the troublemaker out, a voice came from the ancient ship. "Hey, hey, hey, hey. Senior brothers, please make an exception. I know Little Donkey quite well. It's very obedient and won't disturb the rest of the sect's cultivators." Everyone turned to look at the person who spoke. When they saw that the person who spoke was actually Lin Feng, the disciples revealed looks of awe. Lin Feng didn't have a good reputation in the sect. Many people still secretly slandered Lin Feng as the scum of the sect. But who didn't know Lin Feng's strength? Who didn't know? They still had to give face to Lin Feng. So it's Junior Brother Lin. Since Junior Brother Lin has stepped forward, we'll make an exception this time. The leader of the disciples said, "Brother Donkey, let's go up." Fatso said with a grin, "Ahaha, ahaha." Little Donkey yelled twice, then boarded the ancient ship to the original ruins realm with Fatso. Chapter 2297. Where the hell have you been all this time? Lin Feng asked Fatso. Fatso said mysteriously, "Some time ago, I accidentally came across a treasure map. Then, I went to dig for treasures with Brother Donkey. Guess what we found?" Fatso said mysteriously. His eyes were still looking around cautiously. Said Lin Feng, "Could it be that you really found some rare treasures?" Lin Feng asked curiously. "Yes, we really found something good." Fatso grinned. "What is it? Take it out and let me see." Lin Feng said. Fatso took out a black metal ball. The black metal ball was about the size of a fist. Lin Feng held it in his hand and carefully observed it, but he could not find anything special about it. "What is this?" Lin Feng shook it forcefully. Fatso's face turned pale. He quickly grabbed Lin Feng's hand and said, "Brother, don't shake it like that. If it explodes, all of us will die." Lin Feng was shocked and asked, "What is this thing? Why is it so terrifying?" Fatso said, "This is called the Chaos Lightning Ball. It was refined by ancient alchemists. Its destructive power is incomparably terrifying. It is said that a Chaos Lightning Ball of this size can kill a true dragon." Damn, it's so powerful. Lin Feng couldn't help but take a deep breath. The might of the Chaos Lightning Ball shocked even him. "How many of these do you have?" Lin Feng asked. Fatso looked warily at Lin Feng and asked, "Why are you asking?" Lin Feng put his arm around Fatso's shoulder and said with a smile, "Aren't we good brothers?" "Yes." Fatso nodded. "Shouldn't good brothers share blessings and misfortunes together?" Lin Feng asked with a smile. "Yes." Fatso nodded again. "Then shouldn't you share the Chaos Primordial Thunderball with your best friend?" Lin Feng smiled in a resplendent way. Fatso asked, "What was your first question again?" Lin Feng asked, "Aren't we good brothers?" Fatso said, "No." Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. "I'll buy your primal chaos lightning balls, all right?" Fatso revealed a wretched smile and said, "If you help me, big brother, with a favor, I'll give you 10 chaos lightning balls." "What is it? Tell me," said Lin Feng. "Do you remember that female disciple, Xia Shilua?" Fatso asked. Lin Feng shook his head and said, "Who's that woman? I don't know her name, but I don't know her name. Why don't I remember her?" Fatso said, "It's that time when I followed you to Xia Shiyun's Shurian Palace, and you carried Xia Shiyun, by Yusin, and Nangong Qiming back to the Barren Mountain. Weren't we blocked by a group of female disciples from Shurian Palace? That petite and adorable female disciple who pointed a sword at me. She was Xia Shilua, Xia Shiyun's cousin. Her? That tigress." Lin Feng slapped his forehead as he recalled that female disciple. She had a fiery temper, but of course, she was also quite good-looking. "Yes, that's her. I wanted to carry her back to be my wife, but that girl didn't care about me at all. Help Big Brother deal with her. Big Brother's future happiness depends on you." Fatso looked pitifully at Lin Feng. Lin Feng said, "How can I help you deal with her? I'm not familiar with her." Fatso said, "You're familiar with Xia Shiyun. She's Xia Shiyun's cousin. Get Xia Shiyun to matchmake the two of us." Lin Feng said, "That's not a problem. Leave it to me." The fat man hugged Lin Feng and gave him 10 balls of primal chaos lightning. He said, "You have to be careful. Don't blow yourself up. Don't blow other people up. Don't blow yourself up first. Don't worry, there won't be any problems." Lin Feng said. 2 hours later, the sex teleportation array opened. The ancient ship soared into the sky and flew towards the teleportation array. Then, he disappeared into the teleportation array. Whoosh! It disappeared without a trace. The ancient ship flew through a space-time wormhole that led directly to Coiling Dragon Island in the Holy Ground Sea. Coiling Dragon Island was a famous power in the Holy Ground Sea. It was an island controlled by the Heavenly Dragon Clan. There weren't many members of the Heavenly Dragon Clan left. The Heavenly Dragon Patriarch that Lin Feng had met earlier was the clan's master. He was also the Red World Fairy's best friend. On this day, Lin Feng, Fatso, and Brother Donkey were eating in a restaurant. A male disciple walked over. "Senior Brother Lin." The disciple bowed to Lin Feng. Lin Feng glanced at the disciple. He didn't know him, so he asked, "Junior Brother, there's no need to be so polite. Why are you looking for me?" The disciple said, "It's like this. A friend of mine wants to get to know you. Is that okay?" "Your friend?" Lin Feng looked at the disciple in surprise. The male disciple pointed at a table not far away. There were more than 10 disciples around the table, both male and female. They were all participating in the genius rankings. The disciple pointed at a white-robed female disciple. The female disciple had a graceful figure and fair skin. Her palm-sized face was exquisite and beautiful, and her big, watery eyes were very attractive. She had a delicate temperament. That female disciple is Chu Yashuan, right? She's ranked 12th in the sect. In terms of beauty, she's not inferior to the top 10 fairies. The only thing she can't compare to them in is her cultivation," Fatso said. Fatso only wanted to bring back a few fairies as his wives. Thus, he had done a lot of research on the female disciples. Fatso was very familiar with the beautiful female disciples in the sect. There wasn't a single one that he didn't know. The male disciple said, "The reason why Junior Sister Chu's cultivation is inferior to the top 10 fairies is because Junior Sister Chu's cultivation time is much shorter. Junior Sister Chu's talent isn't inferior to the top 10 fairies. It's good to be handsome, to have such beautiful girls throwing themselves at you," Fatso said sourly. "Ahaha, ahaha." Brother Donkey shouted at the side. Fatso patted Brother Donkey's head and said, Let's continue relying on each other. Fatso had such a weird personality. Lin Feng was used to it and ignored Fatso. He looked at the male disciple and said, "If you need any help in the future, junior sister Chu is always welcome to find me. We still have some things to do here, so we won't stay here any longer. Junior brother, please send my regards to junior sister Chu." When the male disciple heard Lin Feng, he understood what Lin Feng meant. Lin Feng didn't intend to have any further contact with Chu Yashuan. That's why he said that. Chapter 2298. Fuck. Such a beautiful girl is throwing herself at you. And you don't even want her? What are you thinking? Fatso said enviously. Big brother Donkey said, Big brother Feng has walked through a field of flowers, but not a single leaf has touched him. Lin Feng smiled and said, Big brother Donkey knows me best. Ahaha, ahaha. Little Donkey made two strange sounds and said, Of course, I'm Big brother Feng's best friend. Fatty said, Oh heavens, oh earth, please give me a beautiful fairy sister to pursue me. I'm willing to pay the price of a beautiful girl that little Lin Feng will never be able to get in his life in exchange for my wish to come true. Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. This damn Fatso was truly shameless. He kicked Fatso a dozen meters away. Why did you kick me? Fatso asked while rubbing his butt. I've been practicing this but flattening wild goose landing style recently. I'll use you to test its power. What do you think? Lin Feng said with a half smile. Fatso said, Lord Fatty won't lower himself to your level. If Lord Fatty really wants to fight you, even 10 of you together won't be a match for Lord Fatty. Fatso bragged a little before lying down on the bed. Lin Feng said, How can you not get fat when you lie down after eating? What do you know? Lord Fatty's cultivation technique is very special. As long as I lie down and sleep, my cultivation will continue to soar. Fatso said, There's such a cultivation technique? Lin Feng looked at Fatso in surprise. Fatso said, Of course. Back then, I was lazy, so I searched many places before I found this cultivation technique. I have to say, this cultivation technique is tailor-made for Lord Fatty. As soon as the Fatty finished speaking, he fell into a deep sleep. This guy can really fall asleep just like that. Furthermore, while he was sleeping, his cultivation had also increased. Who knew how many people were envious and jealous of this kind of cultivation method? Lin Feng spent most of his time cultivating. After that, he saw Chu Yashuan a few times. Every time, Chu Yashuan looked at Lin Feng with hidden bitterness. Her big, watery eyes looked so delicate and pitiful. People who didn't know better would think that Lin Feng had abandoned her. Lin Feng's hair stood on end when he saw Chu Yashuan's gaze. After spending a month in the space-time wormhole, the ancient ship finally arrived at Coiling Dragon Island. The Coiling Dragon Island was bustling with people. Many young cultivators who were participating in the prodigy ranking would come to the Coiling Dragon Island. For example, many large forces would send many experts to escort their disciples. Therefore, the Coiling Dragon Island was incomparably lively. Because there was still a month before the prodigy roll contest, it would take about 20 days to travel from Coiling Dragon Island to the Yuanshu realm. Therefore, they decided to rest on Coiling Dragon Island. The Reincarnation Immortal sect had a huge mansion on Coiling Dragon Island. In fact, many major forces had bought properties on Coiling Dragon Island so that the cultivators participating in the Heaven's Chosen rankings and the Sovereign rankings could have a quiet and comfortable place to rest. The leader of the Reincarnation Immortal sect was Wu Yong. Wu Yong was the supreme elder of the Reincarnation Immortal sect. He was in the giant god realm and was in charge of everyone's safety. They entered the mansion of the Reincarnation Immortal sect on Coiling Dragon Island. Wu Yong said, We'll be resting on Coiling Dragon Island for about 10 days. During this time, you can do whatever you want. But remember, don't cause any trouble when you're outside. Yes. The disciples of the Reincarnation Immortal sect answered immediately. Wu Yong and the other higher-ups went to rest. Then, someone arranged accommodations for the disciples of the Reincarnation Immortal sect. We'll eat wherever we go. I heard that the Holy Ground Ocean is rich in sea monsters. Many restaurants on Coiling Dragon Island specialize in the Holy Ground Ocean Monster Feast. Shall we try it? Fatso said with a smile. Lin Feng was also a foodie. His eyes lit up when he heard that there would be a special feast. The two of them and Little Donkey left their accommodations together. Then, they found the most famous restaurant. This restaurant was called the Origin Heaven Restaurant. It was said that a character was taken from the original Ruins world and the Sky Ruins world. The current Origin Heaven Restaurant was formed. The Origin Heaven Restaurant was very lively. When Lin Feng, Fatso, and Little Donkey arrived, it was almost full. There was no need to think about the private rooms. All the private rooms had been booked. Fortunately, Lin Feng and the others were lucky. A guest sitting by the window left after finishing his meal. Fatso asked the waiter to tidy up the table. Then, she sat with Lin Feng. "Young masters, what would you like to order?" the waiter asked. Fatso said, "I heard that the specialty here is the Holy Ground Ocean Monster Feast." "What are the Holy Ground Ocean Monsters?" Fatso could not help but ask. The waiter said, "The Holy Ground Ocean Monsters are ferocious beasts in the sea. These beasts are very strange. They look like octopuses, squid, and squid. Their meat is smooth and delicious. They can be made into soups, stir-fried, stewed, or even barbecued. There are dozens of ways to eat them." Fatso was almost drooling. He hurriedly said, "The Holy Ground Ocean Monster Feast and the best wine. Quickly bring it up." "All right, please wait for a moment, young masters." The waiter quickly went to prepare the food. Soon, the delicacies were served one after another. Lin Feng, Fatso, and Little Donkey immediately began to eat. Originally, their table was ordinary and wouldn't attract too much attention. However, because of Little Donkey, their table attracted a lot of attention. Little Donkey did not eat grass. He only ate meat. Not only did he eat meat, but he also drank wine. Many people were dumbfounded when they saw this scene. At this moment, a dozen cultivators walked up. They were originally going to the private rooms upstairs. One of them saw the situation at Lin Feng's table and said with a smile, "Humans, beasts, don't separate tables. Guess what it is?" "Haha, this is interesting. I guess it's beasts. Am I right?" A young master said with a smile, "Brother Dong, your meaning is too obvious. It's obviously wrong." Another young master said with a smile. The young master called Brother Dong said with a smile, "What is Brother Nalin's opinion?" "I guess it's a bastard." The young master with the surname Nalin said with a smile, "Bastard, bastard, human and beast. Ha 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 ha, Brother Nalin, you're really something. This bastard guessed it well." The group of people burst into laughter. The young master Nalin looked at the young master who came up with the question and asked, "Brother Fan, I wonder if my guess is correct?" Brother Nalin is really quick-witted. I'm impressed. The cultivator with the surname Fan said with a smile. The group was about to head upstairs. Fatso sneered and said, "Stop. Did Lord Fatty allow you to leave?" Chapter 2299. Hearing Fatso's voice, the group of young masters turned to look at Lin Feng and Fatso. "Are you talking to us?" One of the young masters asked with an indifferent expression. "If I'm not talking to you, do you think I'm talking to animals? Of course, if you admit that you're animals, just pretend I didn't call you and go do whatever you're supposed to do," Fatso said with a wave of his hand. Lin Feng couldn't help but laugh inwardly. Fatso was quite sarcastic with his words. Those with weaker mental fortitude would definitely be angered to death by Fatso's words after hearing Fatso's words. The group of young masters in front of him were obviously infuriated by the fatty. Their gazes towards the fatty were filled with cold intent. "Do you know what you're saying?" One of the young masters asked coldly. "Of course I know what I'm saying, but I don't know if you can understand it. If you can't understand human language, I can get Brother Donkey to translate for you. Brother Donkey is proficient in both beast and human languages," Fatso said indifferently. "Ahaha, ahaha." Little Donkey immediately cried out. Little Donkey then said seriously, "You have to pay to be a translator." The group of young masters' faces turned green after being ridiculed by a human and a donkey. "Ha ha ha." Lin Feng couldn't hold it in anymore and burst out laughing. Fatso and Little Donkey really had a tacit understanding. The only reason he didn't suffer internal injuries from being angered by them was because his mental fortitude was too good. You're courting death. How dare you mock us like that? Do you know who we are? The group of young masters roared angrily. They quickly rushed to the table where Lin Feng was sitting and surrounded Lin Feng, Fatso, and Little Donkey. Lin Feng said faintly, "Your mouths are smelly. You're allowed to mock others from the side, but others aren't allowed to mock you? If you know what's good for you, then hurry up and scram. If we really fight, you people don't even have the qualifications to carry our shoes." This group of young masters were used to being high and mighty. He had never been mocked like this before. In an instant, they were all enraged. "Brat, who do you think you are? How dare you be so arrogant in front of us? Today, we must break the bones of the two of you and your donkey." The group of young masters clamored. "Everyone, calm down. We can talk this out." The shopkeeper came to mediate and tried to persuade them. "Don't worry, we'll compensate you 10 times the amount of the damages." The young master surnamed Nayland said. When the shopkeeper heard this, he immediately gestured with his mouth. "It would be best if he could tear down the entire restaurant. When the time comes, I won't be afraid that you won't compensate me." The most important thing for the people of the major powers was their reputation. If they didn't compensate 10 times the amount in front of everyone, they would lose all their reputation. "Do it!" The group of young masters shouted loudly and directly pounced on Lin Feng, Fatso, and Little Donkey. "Brother Donkey, it's up to you," Fatso shouted. "Ahaha, ahaha." After Little Donkey received the order, he immediately rushed out with his, but facing the group of people. Then, a pfff sound was heard. Seeing this scene, Fatso quickly covered her mouth. Lin Feng, on the other hand, held his breath. Brother Donkey used a smelly attack. The group of young masters who were originally pouncing over fiercely all had a drastic change in expression. It was as if they were poisoned and their eyes turned white. The surrounding diners also covered their noses. Many of them even began to retch. They had such a big reaction even though they were relatively far away, let alone the group of young masters who were hit by Brother Donkey's attack. It was already good enough that they didn't die from Brother Donkey's smelly attack. "I'll kick you to death." Brother Donkey shouted and raised his hooves to kick the group of young masters. Bang, bang, bang. A series of violent collisions could be heard. The young masters were sent flying by Brother Donkey's kicks. Crack, crack. The sound of bones cracking could be heard. Many of them had their bones broken by Brother Donkey's kicks. They fell to the ground and wailed. "Damn, this donkey's fart smell is still lingering. I'm going to die from the smell. Let's leave." Many of them wailed and directly jumped out of the windows. "We're from the Middle Sage Continent's Gu clan. You humiliated us like this today. This matter won't end here," the group of young masters said viciously. Brother Donkey said, "A bunch of trash dare to make a fuss here. You're courting death. Do you believe that Brother Donkey won't trample you to death right now?" Fatso said, "Brother Donkey, there's no need to bicker with this group of trash. Otherwise, they'll dirty your hooves." "Hee hee, I like that," Brother Donkey said proudly. Lin Feng, Fatso, and Little Donkey also jumped out of the window and left. The three of them didn't pay the bill. There were many people like Lin Feng and the others who didn't pay the bill. In any case, the unlucky ones would pay for them. Boom. At that moment, a series of violent fluctuations came from the sea, alarming many people. "There's a battle outside. I heard that the Sky Demon Emperor's son is fighting a 6-eared macaque." "What? The Sky Demon Emperor's son? That's a big deal. I heard that he was born not long ago. His cultivation is heaven-defying." 6-eared macaques are also a heaven-defying race. Didn't they go extinct a long time ago? I can't believe that a 6-eared macaque is still alive. This is unbelievable. Come, let's go take a look. I wonder what the result of this battle will be. The group of people discussed animatedly and then quickly rushed outside. Lin Feng said, "Let's go take a look as well." Swoosh. He, Fatso, and Little Donkey all flew outside. Soon, they arrived outside Coiling Dragon Island. The first thing that came into view was a spirit monkey that was entirely golden in color. The spirit monkey held a stone rod in its hand and was engaged in a great battle with a young master who was wearing a golden battle robe. The young man was surrounded by an emperor's aura. He looked like a young holy emperor. His aura was terrifying and powerful. Why does the Sky Demon Emperor's son give me a familiar feeling? Lin Feng couldn't help but wonder. In his memory, he didn't remember the Sky Demon Emperor's son. However, the familiar feeling was very strong. Suddenly, the 4 types of skyfire in Lin Feng's body emitted violent fluctuations. The 4 types of skyfire had sensed the existence of another type of skyfire. That type of skyfire should be very high level, because the fluctuations emitted by the 4 types of skyfire contained a sense of panic and uneasiness. At the same time, the Sky Demon Emperor's son emitted the aura of another skyfire. When Lin Feng sensed the skyfire's aura, he narrowed his eyes. It's him. Lin Feng looked at the Sky Demon Emperor's son. When he realized who that person was, he couldn't help but be shocked. P.S. I'm not feeling well, so my updates are a bit slow. Chapter 2300. Lin Feng thought of the black flames devouring fire. It was ranked 8th among the 72 types of heavenly fire. It was exceptionally heaven-defying and was located in the fallen god cliff. Lin Feng had wanted to refine this heavenly fire, but it was protected by a powerful golden crow. Hence, he was unable to refine it. Lin Feng remembered it clearly. The black flames devouring fire had wrapped around a mysterious beast egg. The origin of the beast egg was mysterious. Now, it seemed like it belonged to the son of the heavenly demon king. Lin Feng wanted to refine the black flames devouring fire when he was stronger. However, when he returned from the outer realm and returned to the fallen god cliff, the black flames devouring fire was nowhere to be found. Now that he thought about it, the heavenly demon king's son must have been born and controlled the black flames devouring fire. Lin Feng retracted the aura of the 4 types of heavenly fire. The black flames devouring fire's connection to the 4 types of heavenly fire disappeared. It also became silent. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes as he watched the battle. The 6-eared macaque's cultivation was very strong. The magic treasure in his hand resembled the legendary Rui Jingu Bang that the great sage, Heaven's Equal, wielded. The Rui Jingu Bang was a powerful killing weapon. The Rui Jingu Bang was one of the top 10 killing weapons of the Absolute Beginning era. It was only second to the legendary 9-toothed golden rake. The Rui Jingu Bang was later obtained by the great sage, Heaven's Equal. The power of this treasure was fully unleashed. In the hands of the great sage, Heaven's Equal, the Rui Jingu Bang was an invincible killing weapon. The ranking of these ancient weapons was also related to their owners. No matter how powerful a weapon was, if it did not find a suitable owner, it would be covered in dust. It would not be able to unleash its full power. Naturally, it would be difficult for it to make a name for itself. However, if it fell into the hands of a suitable owner, these ancient weapons would become famous. Of course, although the 6-eared macaque stone staff was very similar to the Rui Jingu Bang, it was definitely not a treasure like the Rui Jingu Bang. However, even if it was not the Rui Jingu Bang, the stone staff's power was unparalleled. The 6-eared macaque swung its stone staff, shattering the very fabric of space itself. The weapon in the Sky Demon Emperor's son's hand was a blood-red saber with a dragon's head. The weapon was called the Blood Dragon Saber. It was a treasure passed down by the Heavenly Demon Emperor. It was said that the Heavenly Demon Emperor had killed a total of 99 blood dragons to refine this supreme treasure. Then, he used the blood dragon's soul essence to refine this treasure, turning it into an extremely terrifying killing weapon. The Heavenly Demon Emperor wanted to forge this treasure into an ancient killing weapon. However, before this treasure could be upgraded to an ancient killing weapon, the Heavenly Demon Emperor had already fallen. However, even though it was not at the level of an ancient killing weapon, it was still unimaginably powerful. Clang! 6-eared macaque swung his stone staff at Sky Demon King's son, and Sky Demon King's son swung his blood-red dragon knife at 6-eared macaque. Their attacks collided. Immediately, a muffled clanging sound rang out. It was so loud that even the deaf could hear it. Even the surrounding void was shattered by the impact. The two of them were also forced to retreat. The fatty said, "Both of them are very powerful. Their bodies each contained two extremely terrifying forces. It's just that the two of them didn't circulate the terrifying forces dormant in their bodies." Lin Feng said, "It must be the power of their ancestral blood after the bloodline awakening. Of course, it could also be the power sealed within their bodies by the elites of their race. Both the heavenly demon emperor's son and six-eared macaque are not to be trifled with. I don't think there will be a winner in this battle," Fatso said. Lin Feng pointed to a spot in the distance. There stood an old man, surrounded by divine fire. The old man's aura was very familiar to Lin Feng. He was reminded of the ancient golden raven that guarded the egg. That old man should be the golden crow divine bird's transformation. Lin Feng said, "If that old man doesn't make a move, this battle will end in a draw. However, if he does, six-eared macaque will most likely be killed." Tao Protector. Fatso frowned when he saw the old man. There were many types of guardians. The first type was the guardian of a sect or family. Guardians of sects or families rarely made a move. In fact, they rarely appeared before the eyes of the world. The number of people who knew of their existence could be counted on one hand. Only when the sect, clan, was in danger would these Tao Protectors make a move. The second type of guardian was the guardian of some of the more important members of the sect or family's younger generation. For example, the guardian of the sect or family leader's son, or the guardian of some of the more talented disciples. The reason why these forces would send Tao Protectors to protect these juniors was because they were worried that these juniors would be killed before they could mature. Killing geniuses was a common occurrence in the world of cultivators. Therefore, they had to be extra vigilant. The one thing all guardians had in common was that they were very powerful. The guardian of the heavenly demon emperor's son was an ancient golden raven. Its cultivation was unfathomable. Six-eared macaque did not seem to have a guardian by his side. Therefore, if the guardian of the heavenly demon emperor's son were to make a move, six-eared macaque would be in big trouble. "I wonder why the two of them are fighting each other?" someone asked curiously. They did not understand why the two of them were fighting each other. The father of the heavenly demon emperor's son once dominated the world. Back then, when he reached immortality, he killed a six-eared macaque expert. In the end, he succeeded. This is a feud between the two races. A cultivator said, "So there's a relationship like that. No wonder they're fighting each other to the death." The six-eared macaque expert killed by the heavenly demon emperor must be the ancestor of this six-eared macaque. However, he did not know how close the blood relationship between them was. If this six-eared macaque is also a creature that came out of the stone, then this six-eared macaque might be directly related to the six-eared macaque that was killed. Many people were discussing the matter. Since there was such a deep grudge between the two sides, it was only natural that they would fight each other to the death. "So, you're that little bastard. I remember now. Back then, that old monkey had a grandson. Later, my father killed that old monkey and wiped out the six-eared macaques, but I didn't see that little monkey. Since you're so hostile to me, it seems like that little monkey is you, right?" The heavenly demon emperor's son looked at six-eared macaque with an arrogant expression. His arrogant demeanor came from deep within his bones. He did not think much of the six-eared macaque. Chapter 2301. The six-eared macaques used to be a very famous race. They were known as the psychic tribe. What was the psychic tribe? Simply put, the first race to gain sentience was the psychic tribe. The six-eared macaques were the first to gain sentience. They were extremely intelligent and were said to be proficient in the art of transformation and learning. The six-eared macaque's greatest power was their ability to learn other people's techniques. No matter how powerful a technique was, the six-eared macaques would be able to figure out how powerful it was after watching it a few times. Then, they would be able to master it. Lin Feng did not expect the six-eared macaques to encounter such a disaster. The celestial demon king was an ancient and terrifying expert. Countless years had passed, and there were still many legends about the celestial demon king. Who would have thought that the six-eared macaques had been destroyed by him? When your father was young, He suffered from chi deviation during his cultivation. All of his meridians were broken, and he was abandoned by the heavenly demon tribe. He was severely injured and on the verge of death. It was my grandfather who happened to pass by and saw your father. He saved him and searched for all the divine materials in the world to heal your father's injuries. He taught your father divine abilities. But your father killed my grandfather and wiped out the entire six-eared macaque tribe. This grudge cannot be washed away even if the 4 seas are washed away. The six-eared macaque's eyes were filled with endless killing intent. Many people were shocked. They did not expect such an unbelievable turn of events. Did that mean that the celestial demon king was the kind of person who repaid kindness with enmity? The hatred between the two sides was so deep that it would not end until one of them was dead. My father killed the demon in his heart in order to improve himself. What's wrong with that? The celestial demon king's son looked indifferent. In the past, the celestial demon king wanted to prove his Tao, and he chose to kill his own teacher. The six-eared macaque and the celestial demon king fought. Because of his old age, he could not win and was killed by the celestial demon king. Killing one's teacher to prove one's Tao was shameful, but it was not uncommon in the world of cultivators. Some people believed that their teacher was their demon. With the teacher around, they would always be suppressed. They could not complete the ultimate transformation, so they killed their teacher to prove their Tao. In fact, in the world of cultivators, there was more than just killing one's master to prove one's Tao. There was also killing one's father to prove one's Tao, killing one's mother to prove one's Tao, killing one's brothers and sisters to prove one's Tao, killing one's family to prove one's Tao, killing one's wife to prove one's Tao, and so on. Shouja were merciless. Many people wanted to go further on the path of cultivation. There was no one they couldn't kill. The heavenly demon emperor walked the path of killing his master to prove his Tao. After killing his master, the heavenly demon emperor he knew how powerful the six-eared macaques were. This clan could give birth to a peerless expert at any time. As such, in order to prevent future troubles, Sky Evil King had killed the entire six-eared macaque because he was worried that the next generation of six-eared macaques would seek revenge. But man proposes, God disposes. In the end, the six-eared macaque race was still alive. Many years ago, this little six-eared macaque was born from the mountain of flowers and fruits. As his cultivation base continued to rise, his bloodline continued to awaken, and many of his memories returned. He also learned about the tragic events that had happened to the six-eared macaque family. Countless years had passed, and the heavenly demon emperor had long since passed away. But the heavenly demon emperor's son did not die. After tens of thousands of years, the two sides met again. This battle was the continuation of the War of the Races. The six-eared macaque and the heavenly demon emperor's son were locked in battle. Both sides were very strong, and it would not be easy to defeat the other. More and more people came to watch the battle. Clearly, this battle had attracted a lot of attention. There were even peerless experts who had appeared in secret to watch the battle. The heavenly demon emperor's son and the six-eared macaque's bloodline were too strong. They could definitely be considered as the pinnacle of the younger generation. The two sides fought for over 1,000 rounds, but there was still no clear victor. At that moment, Lin Feng frowned. He could sense a murderous intent from the Golden Raven. It was clear that the Golden Raven wanted to kill the six-eared macaque. Clang! The six-eared macaque and the heavenly demon emperor's son clashed again. Both sides retreated a few hundred meters. The heavenly demon emperor's son's lips curled into a sinister smile. He shouted coldly, "Old man Jean, kill him!" The old man whom the heavenly demon emperor's son addressed as Old Man Jean was none other than the Golden Raven. The heavenly demon emperor's son was vicious and merciless. He would do anything to achieve his goal. He did not care if he was the one who killed the six-eared macaque. He did not care if others pointed fingers at him. "Yes, young master," Old Man Jean replied, then walked toward the six-eared macaque, asking the guardian to kill him. "That's too shameless, isn't it? That six-eared macaque is going to be killed this time, right?" Many people began to talk among themselves. They looked at the six-eared macaque with pity. The guardian had made a move against the six-eared macaque. Naturally, no one thought that the six-eared macaque would win. Boom! Old Man Jean slammed his palm toward the six-eared macaque. A giant energy handprint condensed in the void. The energy palm slammed toward the six-eared macaque. A terrifying aura emanated from the energy palm. That aura was enough to shock anyone who saw it. The six-eared macaque swung his stone staff at the palm. Bam! The two sides collided. With a loud crash, the six-eared macaque was sent flying. Barf! In midair, the six-eared macaque spat out a mouthful of blood. The guardian was indeed terrifying. His cultivation base had reached an unfathomable level. The six-eared macaque was strong, but there was still a big gap between him and the guardian. The heavenly demon emperor's son looked on coldly. His lips curled into a sinister smile. It was as if he could already see the six-eared macaque being killed by the guardian. Die! The guardian's voice was cold. Once again, he slammed his palm toward the six-eared macaque. The six-eared macaque could no longer dodge this attack. This battle is about to end. The six-eared macaque is going to be killed. They managed to avoid the annihilation of their race back then, but they can't avoid this one. The six-eared macaque race is going to be wiped out. Many people cried out in shock. Humph! Just as everyone thought that the six-eared macaque was going to be killed, a cold snort rang through the air. A loud rumbling sound could be heard. An earthen yellow palm formed and blasted toward the attack that Elder Jean had conjured. Bam! The attacks from both sides collided. Both sides were annihilated, but no one could do anything to the other. Who are you? How dare you stop the heavenly demon emperor's line? Have you thought about the consequences of offending us? Chapter 2302. Celestial Demon Royal Family? What a joke. This is no longer the era of the Celestial Demon Royal Family. The title of Celestial Demon Royal Family is meaningless now. The expert in the dark sneered. How dare you insult the Celestial Demon Royal Family? The Celestial Demon Royal Son's eyes flashed with killing intent. Junior, do you have the right to speak here? If you weren't the Celestial Demon Royal Son, you would be dead by now if you dared to speak to me in such a tone. The expert in the dark said coldly. The Celestial Demon Royal Son's expression turned even uglier. However, he was very tolerant and did not say anything else. This Celestial Demon Royal Son is not simple. Many people whispered. The scariest people were not those who were strong but did not know when to stop. The scariest people were those who were strong but knew how to be tolerant. For example, the Celestial Demon Royal Son was strong, talented, and knew how to be tolerant. With such a character, it would be difficult for him not to rise. Very well. The Celestial Demon Royal Family will remember what happened today. Elder Jean said coldly. The expert in the dark did not say anything else. Six-eared macaque looked at the Celestial Demon Royal Son indifferently, then quickly left. Elder Jean and the Celestial Demon Royal Son left quickly as well. However, it was clear that the storm would not be over just like that. Many people were discussing the tragic fate of the six-eared macaques. They were also discussing the Celestial Demon Royal Son's ruthlessness. Even more people were talking about the conflict between the Celestial Demon Royal Son and the six-eared macaque. Today's battle was only the beginning. The grudge between the Celestial Demon Royal Son and the six-eared macaque would not end so easily. After the Genius Rankings begins, there will be a great battle. I'm really looking forward to it. This is a battle between the best of the younger generation. This year's Prodigy Ranking battle will definitely be exciting. Countless people were talking about it. After the commotion ended, everyone dispersed and returned to Coiling Dragon Island. Lin Feng, Fatso, and Brother Donkey also returned. They had thought that the princes who had been beaten up would not be satisfied and would even find someone to deal with them. However, those princes did not appear again. The next day, Fatso came to Lin Feng and said mysteriously, "Brother, I found something good. Let's go take a look." Lin Feng asked, "What is it?" "There's a stone shop on Coiling Dragon Island that specializes in selling stones dug out from the deep sea. I heard that the stone shop is selling a batch of extremely rare stones. It's said that those stones are very evil. Let's go and have a look." Fatso said, "The evil stones you mentioned are the good stuff you were talking about?" Lin Feng asked. Of course. Look at how many creatures have come out of the stone recently. Maybe there are creatures sealed in the evil stones in the workshop as well. If we can find them, we can imprint them into their bodies before they awaken. Then, we'll be able to obtain an extremely powerful servant. Fatso said. Lin Feng rubbed his chin and said, It'll be heaven-defying if we can find such an opportunity. Let's go take a look at the stone shop. The two did not stop and headed towards the stone shop with Brother Donkey. There was only one stone shop on Coiling Dragon Island, opened by the Heavenly Dragons. Business was usually good. Some time ago, a heavenly dragon had dived hundreds of thousands of meters into the sea. That was a place where no one dared to go. Even a giant god would find it difficult to dive that deep. However, the heavenly dragons had no problem with that. The heavenly dragons were gods of the water. The sea was unknown and terrifying in the eyes of many, but the sea was like their own backyard to them. Many people want to look at this batch of strange stones. When Lin Feng, Fatso, and Little Donkey arrived at the stone shop, they happened to see someone cutting stones. Moreover, an ancient stone tool was found, shocking everyone. We can't stay here for long. Let's go. The cultivators who had cut the stone tool conversed. They did not stay and quickly left. The stone tool was no small matter. They were worried that something would happen if they stayed, so they left in a hurry. However, they were attacked by a dozen mysterious cultivators as soon as they left the stone shop. Those cultivators were simply too powerful. They hid in the void and launched a sneak attack, catching these cultivators off guard. Screams of agony could be heard. Several cultivators died tragically, and their storage rings were taken away. Many people heard the commotion and went to check it out. Many people's expressions changed when they saw the cultivators die tragically. Aren't they too arrogant? They attacked outside the stone shop. Are they looking down on the heavenly dragons? If the heavenly dragons can't guarantee the safety of their customers, they'll only invite disaster by cutting precious things out of the stone shop. Who knows, those people might be related to the heavenly dragons. Rumors spread all over the place. Even the heavenly dragons were alarmed. A tall and slender woman arrived. That's the granddaughter of the heavenly dragons. Her name is Long Muying. She's in charge of many businesses on Coiling Dragon Island. She's probably here to deal with those cultivators who were robbed and killed, right? Deal with them? I think they're just trying to sell dog meat under false pretenses. Maybe they're just pretending to be a thief? Many people discussed this matter and did not trust the Heavenly Dragon clan. Ladies and gentlemen, I've learned about what happened outside the stone workshop not long ago. During this period of time, countless cultivators have swarmed into our Coiling Dragon Island because of the upcoming Heavenly Legends ranking battle. Our Coiling Dragon Island has issued a rule that no private fights are allowed on the island. Those who engage in private fights will be expelled from Coiling Dragon Island. Those who kill others for treasures will be killed without mercy. Our Coiling Dragon Island will definitely get to the bottom of these people today and give an explanation to those who died and the forces behind them, Long Muying said aloud. After hearing Long Muying's explanation, many people felt relieved. If it was an outsider who did it, they would not have to worry too much. However, if it was done by Coiling Dragon Island, they would have to be careful. Many people dispersed and continued to cut the stones. Do you see that? Those are the evil stones that the heavenly dragons retrieved from the ocean at a depth of over 100,000 meters. In the depths of the stone shop, there were many precious stones placed in a courtyard. Fatso pointed at the dozens of stones placed together. Those stones were extraordinary. They exuded an evil energy. They were the evil stones that Fatso had mentioned earlier. Lin Feng looked at the dozens of evil stones and could not help but frown slightly. What's wrong? Do you feel that something is wrong? Fatso asked. Lin Feng nodded and said, This place makes me feel very oppressed. Chapter 2303. Lin Feng and Little Donkey both felt uncomfortable. Clearly, it was because of those strange stones. Those stones were indeed not simple and made their hearts palpitate. Lin Feng couldn't help but rub his chin and say, It seems that there really are living creatures sealed within those stones. Fatso's eyes suddenly lit up. If that's the case, Then that's great. We can find those stones that seal living creatures. Seeing Fatso's excited expression, it was clear that he was itching to give it a try. At that moment, someone chose an evil stone. The price of this kind of evil stone was extremely high. Even the cheapest one cost 10 million origin crystals, so not just anyone could afford to buy an evil stone. There was one more thing. Even if one had enough origin crystals to buy an evil stone, how many people would be willing to spend an astronomical amount of money to buy an evil stone? After all, the probability of finding something good from the stone was very low. If nothing was found after the stone was cut open, then it would be a complete loss. Of course, there were also a few rich cultivators who didn't care about 10 million origin crystals. Lin Feng recognized the person who chose the stone. It was none other than the Sky Demon Emperor's son. He was obviously very rich. "Sir, this is a stone-cutting knife." The shop assistant handed a stone-cutting knife to the Sky Demon Emperor's son. Swish, swish, swish. The Sky Demon Emperor's son began to cut the stone. He was extremely skilled, and stone chips flew everywhere. The stone was continuously shrinking. Many people stared at the shrinking evil stone, wanting to see what the Sky Demon Emperor's son would find. However, the stone didn't move at all. It can't be that he won't be able to cut anything, right? If that's the case, then 10 million origin crystals will be wasted. Many people muttered, and they all had a gloating look on their faces. Buzz. Suddenly, an astonishing wave of energy emanated from the stone. Many people were shocked. The stone that the Sky Demon Emperor's son was about to cut had produced such an extraordinary fluctuation. Even the Sky Demon Emperor's son was shocked. Swoosh. What was shocking was that the stone chosen by the Sky Demon Emperor's son turned into a stream of light and flew outside. Many people tried to intercept it, but they were all sent flying by the stone. The stone has become a spirit. Many cultivators cried out in alarm. This piece of stone really did develop intelligence. It was extremely unordinary and strange, leaving everyone shocked and moved. "Where do you think you're going?" The Sky Demon Emperor's son shouted coldly and quickly chased after him. Many people chased after him. However, there were also many who continued to stay in the stone workshop. "I choose this one." A middle-aged cultivator gritted his teeth and chose an evil stone, spending 12 million origin crystals. Originally, the middle-aged cultivator was still hesitating. This was because the price of over 10 million origin crystals for a single evil stone was simply too high. But when the middle-aged man saw the Sky Demon Emperor's son cut out something shocking, he really couldn't suppress the desire in his heart. The middle-aged man began to cut the stone. Many people gathered around to watch. The Sky Demon Emperor's son cut out something shocking. That stone came from the same batch as the middle-aged cultivator. Do you think the middle-aged cultivator will be able to cut out something good? This evil stone is so expensive. The chances of it being cut out should be much higher than other stones. I think he might be able to cut out something shocking. Many people whispered to each other, discussing whether the middle-aged man would be able to cut out something precious. Swoosh, swoosh. The middle-aged cultivator was very skilled at cutting the stone. Pieces of the stone fell off. The stone continued to shrink. However, as the stone shrank, the middle-aged cultivator's expression became more and more solemn. In the end, sweat poured down his face. Clearly, the middle-aged cultivator had a bad feeling about this. It should be empty. Lin Feng sensed the last piece of stone and couldn't sense any special aura. That was why he said that. That's over 10 million origin crystals. Just like that? Fatso was speechless. 10 million origin crystals wasn't a small sum for countless people. If they didn't understand the concept of 10 million origin crystals, they could think of it as 10 million yuan. Wasn't 10 million yuan a lot of money? Of course it was. Therefore, if they spent 10 million origin crystals and couldn't cut out anything, who wouldn't feel the pinch other than someone as rich as Lin Feng? In the end, the middle-aged cultivator completely cut out the stone, but the stone was empty. He couldn't cut anything. Why is it like this? The middle-aged cultivator sat on the ground, his face full of unwillingness. Cutting stone was like this. The gambling was very big. The spending here was much higher than in casinos. Countless people had lost their family fortune in the stone workshop because of a single piece of stone. Lin Feng had been in the workshop many times, so he was used to seeing things like that. He wasn't surprised at all. Little Feng, which piece did you take a fancy to? Fatso asked. Lin Feng said, I need to take a closer look. Cutting stone isn't easy. Fatso naturally understood this. He and Lin Feng shuttled between the evil stones. Lin Feng touched the evil stones from time to time. He sensed the aura of the evil stones. Over here, little donkey called out. That donkey has become a spirit. Many people couldn't help but cry out in surprise when they saw little donkey speak human language. What are you talking about? Who are you calling a donkey? Are you looking for a beating? Little donkey looked askance at the cultivators who called him a donkey. If you're not a donkey, then what are you? Many people couldn't help but roll their eyes. You should call me Heavenly Donkey Holy Sovereign. Little donkey said seriously. How shameless can you be? Many people cried out speechlessly. A donkey dared to call itself Holy Sovereign? This world was too crazy. Lin Feng and Fatso walked to Little Donkey's side. Little Donkey ignored the people around him. He pointed at a stone with his hoof. This is it. It gives me a feeling that it's extraordinary. Little Donkey said. Little Donkey was extraordinary. Since he was sure that this stone was extraordinary, it was very likely that there was something extraordinary about it. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes and looked at the stone. He stretched out his hand and touched it. How is it? Fatso looked at Lin Feng and asked. It's indeed a little different from other stones, but I can't tell exactly what it is. Let's cut this stone, Lin Feng said. Chapter 2304. Where do you think you're going? Fatty's eyes were sharp, and his hands were quick. He immediately grabbed the stone. Waha, I caught him. The stone has a spirit. We're rich now. Fatso was so excited that his entire body was trembling. Who would have thought that this stone material was not simple at all? It directly brought the fatty into the air. Then, it shook its body. Bang! A powerful force slammed into Fatso, sending Fatso flying. Thud! Fatso fell to the ground. Io! My butt is about to break into two halves. This damned stone. This fat lord will *CK your ancestors. Fatso rubbed his butt as he wailed. His eyes were filled with resentment. The stone soared into the sky, trying to rush out of the stone workshop. Buzz. At this moment, the ceiling of the stone workshop was densely covered with formation runes. They blocked the stone's path of escape. When the stone came into contact with the interweaving formation runes in the air, it was repelled. Ha 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 ha! The stone workshop is densely covered with powerful formation runes. The stone won't be able to escape this time. Fatso jumped up and was about to pounce on the stone. The stone is mine. Bullshit. The stone is mine. Many people roared and charged at the stone. Fatso cursed. *CK. The stone is ours, okay? You're snatching other people's things. Don't you have any shame? Immediately, a cultivator sneered and said, Have you paid? How is it yours if you haven't paid? Fatso said, After cutting the stone, we'll naturally pay together. If you haven't paid, it's not yours. Someone else sneered. The rule of the stone workshop was to first select the stone. After the stone was selected, the stone was cut. Before leaving the stone workshop, all the stones had to be paid together. Therefore, Lin Feng and the others had only selected this stone but did not pay for it. If this stone was still in the hands of Lin Feng and the others, these cultivators could not openly snatch it. The rules had to be obeyed. However, the key problem now was that this stone was no longer under the control of Lin Feng and Fatso. Therefore, these people decided to act shamelessly and participate in the fight for it. Lin Feng and Fatso couldn't do anything about these scoundrels. Bang, bang, bang. The stones were very terrifying, knocking away cultivators one after another. Seeing that there was no way to escape from above, this piece of stone decided to find another way out. It could also escape from the entrance of the courtyard. However, with so many cultivators attacking, no matter how powerful the stone was, it was ultimately unable to break out of the encirclement. Finally, the stone material retreated to the depths of the cave. Just as the group of cultivators were planning to snatch the stone material, suddenly, cracking sounds could be heard from the stone. Many people's eyelids twitched violently. The thing inside is coming out, someone exclaimed. The thing that rushed out of the stone was too shocking. However, it was already too late for him to stop them. Crack, crack, crack. The stone continued to crack, and a terrifying wave of energy surged out from the stone. Everyone, please leave this courtyard as soon as possible. The owner of the stone workshop appeared. He was an old man in gray, and his aura was deep and terrifying. Why should we leave? Could it be that you see something coming out of the stone and want to take it for yourself? This stone material is for sale. Even if something comes out now, we can still buy it because we've been eyeing this stone material for a long time. Whoever snatches the thing coming out of the stone material will be able to buy it, a cultivator immediately said, and many people responded. The owner couldn't help but frown. He was worried that something terrifying would come out of the stone material, so he wanted to disperse the crowd. However, seeing that these cultivators were unwilling to leave, the owner simply stopped persuading them. Crack, crack. The stone material continued to crack. Not long after, a stone saber appeared. The stone saber wasn't big, only a dozen centimeters long. Endless murderous aura came out of the stone saber. After sensing the murderous aura, everyone's expression changed. This stone saber was too terrifying. However, the surrounding cultivators soon became excited. The stone saber was so powerful. If they could snatch it later, they would be rich. Stone tools were precious and priceless treasures. 10 million origin crystals for a single stone tool was simply too worth it. Crack, crack. The stone material continued to crack. Soon, a stone arm appeared in everyone's line of sight, causing everyone to reveal an incomparably shocked expression. Obviously, there was more than just a stone saber sealed in the stone material. The stone material cracked faster and faster. Soon, the stone material completely cracked. A stone man appeared in everyone's sight. This stone man was too small. It was only about 20 centimeters tall, and it was holding a stone saber in its hand. Now, the stone man looked at everyone with cold eyes, and there was a sense of arrogance in its eyes. Stone man. Many people were shocked. They didn't expect the stone material to be so extraordinary. It sealed a stone man, and the stone man was holding a stone saber. Erase its soul, and we can refine the stone man into the most powerful stone man puppet. Many cultivators shouted excitedly. The stone man holding a stone saber was too attractive. Many people seemed to have gone mad as they charged towards the stone man. Swoosh! All kinds of Dharma treasures were brought out, and they all attacked the stone man. Lowly creatures! You blasphemed the supreme dignity of the stone clan. You all deserve to die. The stone man's voice was cold, and his eyes flashed with a dense killing intent. The stone golem brandished the stone blade in its hand and slashed at the group of cultivators. Puff, puff, puff. The stone saber's power was too terrifying. One Dharma treasure after another was torn to pieces by the stone saber. Next, the stone saber cut the bodies of the cultivators in half. The stone saber was very strange. After killing the cultivators, it quickly devoured the flesh and soul essence of the dead cultivators. The stone saber's power increased crazily. It was like a demonic saber. Many people felt their scalps go numb at the sight. Let's go, Lin Feng whispered, and quickly ran outside with Fatso and Little Donkey. The stone man with a stone saber had appeared, and it was impossible to subdue it. Running away was the best choice. If they stayed, they might be killed by the stone man. Many cultivators were frightened by the stone man's attacks, and they turned to flee. That brat, Fatso, and that donkey, you can't escape. The stone man locked onto Lin Feng, Fatso, and Little Donkey. It ignored the others and chased after them. Many people heaved a sigh of relief when they saw this. Damn it, I'm called Heavenly Donkey Holy Sovereign, not that donkey. Little Donkey shouted angrily. The stone man called Little Donkey that donkey. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.